forged from the love of liberty in the fires of hope and prayer, with boundless faith in our destiny, we solemnly declare. Side by side we stand, islands of the blue Caribbean Sea, this our native land. We pledge our lives to thee. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation.
Heavenly Father, we come before you at the start of this new day, giving thanks for life, for health, and the opportunity to serve through this station. We ask for your divine presence to guide us in all we do. Bless this broadcast, that it may be a source of inspiration, joy, and unity to all who tune in. Whether near or far, may our words uplift, our music heal, and our message bring light to those who need it most. We pray for our listeners wherever they may be. Grant them strength for the day ahead, peace in their hearts, and success in all they put their hands to. Cover those traveling with your protection and those at home with your comfort and provision. Lord, may everything we do bring honor to you and be a blessing to others. Guide our steps, bless our efforts, and let this station be a vessel of positivity and hope. In your name we pray. Amen.
Your voice, your soundtrack, your station. New Era TT Radio. NETT Radio.
Once strong and proud. With works of fire, I'll rally the crowd. My voice is my weapon, my songs they are sealed against injustice on this battlefield. My power is not in age, but in song, to guard the nation against every wrong. My voice cannot be absent. 65 and still relevant. By God I was sent with divine intent. Will go the extent in any advance, still relevant. La da di da do da day, la da di da oh God, la da di da do, la da di da da da. Twiggy say, oh la da do. They tell me age should bring me peace and rest. Once people under pressure, I will do my best. Icons like we don't retire, we grow. Our voices get richer, knowledge overflow. Once we steal by beaten, once carnival call, I'll be singing loudly in every calypso hall. No desk job waiting, no pension yet. I am here till the people needs are met. Once the issue stand, I won't stand still. My song bring change with powerful will. 65, 65, and still relevant. This precious twin island, I humbly represent. Oh, 65, energy and vibe, and still relevant. Nobody could silence this vocal instrument. Every note, every song that I declare, I will show the world I still belong here. No time for rest, no time for retreat. Who in the kitchen, sure to feel the heat. Every mother and every child in need, I will plant my lyrics like a moral seed. So when they're asking why I'm still in the tent, tell them 65 and still relevant. Harder than cement, I won't be absent. I will not relent. Every word is meant, still relevant.
Wake up, rise up. It's the NETT Radio Breakfast Show, bringing you the energy, music and vibes to start your day right.
Yeah, 65 and still relevant. You know, in spite of everything, you got to maintain your relevance, because trust me, you see, after a certain time and age, the system does just push you out, you know. Yeah, they're done with you. So you keep yourself relevant, yeah. I've always loved that song from Twiggy. Yesterday I just stumbled across it again. I say, oh my gosh, you know what? This is a good song to start the week, yeah. Want to make sure all of you are very, very relevant, because yes, you are. Like yourself this morning. If you didn't feel it before, you're feeling it now. So, good morning, Trinidad. Good morning to Tobago. Neighbors in the Caribbean, how are you doing? Friends and family all around the globe. So happy to be in the space with you this morning. I want to say much thanks, as always, to the Heavenly Father for bringing us together for another one. All that we do there, God, let it be a blessing, honor to you. Sir Charles, that is me. As always, happy to be in the space. As they welcome you to Get Up and Go. Everybody, welcome to your Monday edition of The Breakfast Show.
Get up, it's the time to start the day. The Breakfast Show is here, we bring in the soca way. Yeah. Wake up, it's a brand new dawn. The Breakfast Show got the vibes turned on. From Morocco's Bay to the Savannah line, let's start the day in Caribbean prime. Good vibes rolling through the air. The Breakfast Show, energy everywhere. We talk, we laugh, we make you think. Grab your double or your morning drink.
Open your eyes, feel the light. Everything's gonna be alright. Good morning, we're wishing you a colorful day. Let the sunshine guide you on your way. Smile a little, let your worries fade. Good morning, may your heart feel light and free. So much joy in everything you see. Good morning, yeah, a beautiful day. Good morning.
Yeah. Good morning. Such a beautiful, wonderful day. Yeah. Giving God thanks and praises for life. I hope that you're all feeling it this morning. Yeah. It's a wonderful day this morning, and we are so glad to be in the land of the living. Yeah. And of course, it is a Monday. I really hope that all of you guys had a good weekend and ready for everything that will be coming your way this week, because trust me, things will be coming and you better be ready for it. Yes? Don't let it take you off guard. But good morning, and really, really feeling good to be here with you this morning. Welcome to the breakfast show. Monday to Friday, we're here between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. And today's no different. Let me say good morning to my co-hosts, Wendell and Richard, who will join us in between the morning period. The guys have some stuff happening. Everybody seems to have something happening this morning, but they will join us as we go through the morning period, right? So we look forward to them in between the morning, as at some point in time. But yeah, boy, I got up this morning, and it seems like the early morning period is the only cool time of the day now. I mean, like it's real hot. It really, really hot. And so I have to get out the 5:30ish, and just go out and enjoy that coolness, because from the time you see 8 o'clock reach, all that does disappear and the place just real warm in Trinidad and Tobago. I know in some other places, it's especially some parts of the US and stuff, it's extremely hot also. Europe, some parts of that they are also experiencing some very hot days in their space also. So we have to deal with it. Thank God we are not at the kind of numbers that they are doing in their space, because they are like in some spaces way up in the 90s, 96, and close to 100. Some places at times over 100, over 100. I don't know. I don't know how they're coping with that. Um, Breaking that down, that in Fahrenheit, to Celsius. I'm not too sure how much it'll be, but I know we battling up with a normal 32 and 33. The other day, I think we hit a 34, and it was very, very uncomfortable. So imagine if we reach anywhere close to 40, what it's going to be like. I hope I don't have to find out that. I really able. I really, really able to see it. It's just really, really uncomfortable. But I mean, I suppose the good thing about it is that it has me drinking a lot of water. And every time I forget, there are some things that will say, try and put on some more water. Yeah. But yeah, that is what it is. And speaking of water, let me make an appeal one time to the Water and Sewage Authority. It have a time I tell myself they should drop off that name, because WASA being the water and sewage, they seem to be no real authority. But it's what we're dealing with. But yeah, so there are some places, I know some people in Port of Spain South have been having problems with water over the last couple of days. People in Rima have been crying out for water for the last couple of weeks. I don't know if that situation has remedied itself, but I know lots of other places also. I know some people in some places in San Fernando has been having some problems with water. Even closer along the east-west corridor, some parts of Mont Blanc, but so and even where I am at in the Sinapuna area, where we get a pretty decent supply of water. But sometimes I leave and I go just across on the other side, which is the southern side of the Eastern Main Road. And people who live on that side, I was talking to a lady on that side, and she was telling me sometimes days, weeks, they don't have water on that side. I say, wait, so we have to be real thankful then, because I mean, like a little day or two at best. But where I'm at, I can't go weeks or a week without water because we live in an area where we don't have storage. We have a big water tank in front of our compound that has been there for the better part of 20 years. Yeah, 19, 20 years. And I mean, it's a huge water tank. If you all come up on my side, you will see this water tank, excuse me, right before the Early Childhood Center. It's a huge tank. But we have never had water from that time. There has always been some problem with that tank, in the sense that HCC on their what they call their pedestrian sheet, right? You'll see it. They have it earmarked the water tank, but they never commissioned the tank. They never put it into service. And every time, for years we've been going back and forth. And that is the thing about Trinidad and Tobago. You could go back and forth with a problem for years before somebody just comes in an administration and realizes that, well, why? And we'll sort it out in a short space of time. Somewhere that was happening the other day, somewhere I saw something like that. Somebody was having some problem with something. And all it took was somebody who got into the position now, who was determined to make a difference, and their problem was sorted out. So I hope that we will get it sorted out soon enough, because it has been like that for a long time. I don't know when they would fix it, but I hope that my MP, Mr. Roger Alexander, he was on our compound not too long ago, and I know that is one of the things that they spoke to him about. So I'm hoping that they will eventually get to fixing the water tank. So on days when, the water is scarce, we could get water in our compound. But it's Trinidad and Tobago for you, you know what I mean? But for all the places that don't have water, WASA try and see if they could, help out people, do some sort of proper distribution plan so that the areas can have water. Richard, good morning to you. How are you doing?
All right, good morning. Good morning, Sir Charles, and good morning to our listeners and viewers, wherever you are across the planet today. And, welcome to the Breakfast Show, coming to you live out of Trinidad and Tobago. Of course, good morning. We know you have a choice, and we're glad you chose us to spend your morning with this morning. I want to say a special condolences going out to the family and friends of Shobna Prasad. I would have gotten a notification from the Law Association that she passed. Mm-hmm. She would have been in my year. She's an attorney. Well, she was an attorney. And she would have been in my year. And she would have passed a few days ago. And, I just wanted to express my condolences. I remember Shobna very well. And I mean, over the years, we would have, met at various points. And she was always very gracious and very kind. We would always stand up talking, and she would come to theater from time to time, and but we'd always stand up talking, and she was always very, very courteous, very kind to me.
The way you say to me.
No, I could only speak for myself.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
She was an attorney, and her husband was also an attorney, but I believe he passed years ago. And so Shobna, from time to time we would have met up. And, it will always reconnect like if we were back in law school in Barbados. So, my condolences to her family and her friends. Rest in peace, Shobna.
Yeah, condolences to the family, man.
Yeah. Is it that you wanted to go straight into greeting people, or you wanted? Did you do good news already?
Yeah, no, I ain't do good news as yet. So let me do good news, and then we come back and greet people on the street.
All right, great. Yeah, kindness.
Yeah, one child.
Kindness, language, no judgment. Basic human qualities that religion preaches about, but religious adherents many times are very far from. Humans. But that's a good news, Sir Charles.
Yeah.
I take echoing this morning.
What is that?
I take it I'm not echoing this morning.
Well, so far I'm not hearing you doing any kind of thing like that.
Right. All right, let's go to greeting people in the stream. All right. I'll start off with, who is this? Kenny in Harlem. Good morning, gentlemen. And who's this? Odell guy. Good morning. Blessings to all. I always have to kind of watch straight through my camera to see who's on the screen. And sometimes the camera is actually blocking it. John Cato says, Grand Rising to the NETT Breakfast Show, hosts and viewers all over the globe. Let's look ahead at the weekend. Eunice Dublin says, good morning. Anthony Tinto says, good morning. And he says it with a heavy heart. He says of his passing of his brother Marcus Tinto.
Yeah.
We miss you already. Rest in peace, bro. Love you. So condolences to Anthony Tinto and your family and friends on the passing of your brother Marcus Tinto. Trinman says a blessed morning. Good morning to all. Pamela O'Connor says blessed morning to everyone on the chat. Good morning, Pamela O'Connor. Sis Super, is that it? Sis Super says thank God for blessing and love to all. Manuela Peters, good morning to everyone and happy birthday to my friend Maria Diaz. Happy birthday, Maria. Margarita Chow, is that? Yeah. Margaret Thomas. Good morning. Have a blessed day. Marcia Rock says good morning and happy Monday. Have a blessed day. Good morning, Marcia. Apollinus, good morning, guys. Diane Payne says blessed morning, gentlemen. Be blessed. Ingrid from Tucson, good morning, Ingrid. Robert Taylor says good morning. Good morning, Robert. Hillary Benjamin, good morning, Richard and Sir Charles. I have a wonderful day. Wendell should join us shortly. Wendell, she will be passing to collect the stuff today after therapy. Will the driver be able to park? We remember to ask Wendell that. I think it shouldn't be a problem anyway. If I can answer for him. Kathy and Charles, good morning to everyone on the Breakfast Show. Have a blessed and productive day. From Arlene and Stephen, good morning. Debbie Modest says good morning. Hope you had a splendid weekend. My weekend was all right because I had, what did I do this weekend? A lot of times I'm doing stuff on my, a lot of times I'm doing stuff.
Like weekend was about 10 days away, so you can't remember.
No, a lot of times I'm doing stuff on my, so my weekends are not non-working days for me. Mm-hmm. So I'm always doing stuff.
You always have something to do. Yeah.
So as I'm sure you do, Sir Charles.
Trust me.
So that's right. Yeah. In that sense, yeah.
There's always something to play catch up for.
Yep. Felix Kazoo says, good morning, esteemed gentlemen and Breakfast Show family. Welcome to a new week. Felix Kazoo is saying stuff again. Compliments it into family. Gavin Frank says, good morning. Marlon Motley, good morning, Marlon. Good to hear from you. Wayne Ramsey says, good morning. Boy Bedesi says, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Boy Bedesi. Pearl Conis and TC from Brazil Village. Good morning, everyone. Have a safe week. Okay, Ingrid is expressing her condolences. Alistair Hart says, good morning. Lester Craigwell says, good morning. Good morning, Lester. Lester Hart is giving us, saying he's now on blood pressure meds. Pay attention to your health. Yeah. One thing you really have, and one thing you have to pay attention to, because without it, great day. So says Florence Bazi. Gerald Hawaii says, good morning. And to all listeners, have a great day.
Good morning,
Robert Harper. Robert Harper says, good morning, gentlemen. Have a blessed day. Especially want to wish my better half a happy 17th wedding anniversary. Thank God for that. So happy anniversary to you and your wife, Robert. Lincoln says, good morning. What you saying? New York City is what? Is baking. Okay, that's what he's saying. So it's that hot. Susan says, good morning, Sir Charles Richard Vandel from Suzanne Suzette, Corinne Maria H. Is it Maria H? No, from Corinne, from Mrs. Jama Maria S. and Maria H. Cat Consulting says, morning. What happened? The Ream abandoned you, put me in coach. What is that? I don't understand.
I think she meant the team. Probably when we started this morning, it was just me alone.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I think she meant the team.
There's Cat Consulting Services.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, definitely he means the team.
Okay, Puerto Rico experiencing a major water shortage. Okay, I didn't know that. Grand Rising, everyone. So said Sadia Andrew, or Sadia Andrew. Maybe it's Sadia. Yeah. Brent Hackshaw says, good morning, gentlemen. Blessed day ahead. Susan Jessup, best cooler growth. She advertising the boat ride.
Yes. We're down to the wire now.
Yeah. And Noel says, good morning to the breakfast crew and blessings from Oshawa. And Carla Hercules says, good morning. And just now. Valerie Mendoza says, good morning to the breakfast team. Robert Harper says, good morning to my fellow Kavit Richard. Hence, you weren't a Sherlock, or I don't know what that is. A Worrell, or I don't know what that is. I'm going to try to look it out now. Deborah Modest says, good morning. Nicola McNichol says, good morning to everyone. Let me kind of rush through now. Carlisle Cupid says, good morning. Bernadette Yates, good morning. Michael Grandison says, good morning. Cheryl Johnson says, good morning. Good morning, Cheryl. David Ware says, good morning. That good news video is nothing short of excellent and very inspiring. And he says condolences to Mr. Tinto and family. Kim Gobaya says, good morning. Very good news, guys. We need a new competition. We need to have a competition. Where is Wendell today? Nicola McNichol says, good morning. I want to congratulate the women's senior netball team for winning gold at the CSC Games. Yes, that's a big congratulations to the Trinidad and Tobago senior netball team. They beat Jamaica to win. And of course, congratulations to all of the CSC athletes. So well done, Trinidad and Tobago. If Sir Charles was on top of things, he would have played applause, but he's not on top of things.
Yeah. I'm not giving applause anyhow.
Julia S. Batiste, good morning, Julia. LG3137 said, Charles, you're going to find, just asking for, look, good news is good news from wherever it come, IG3137. Good news is good news from wherever it comes because it's about humanity and human beings. So leave Sir Charles alone. Sir Charles abide that fight. Slick Money Grip says, good morning, gentlemen and crew. Happy New Week. Therefore, missed love. Okay. Greetings. Early today. Let's hook up our sovereignty. I'm getting very concerned by our state. Mrs. R says, good morning. Good morning, Mrs. R. David McCarthy says, greetings from Gilligan's Island. Okay. Marlene says, blessed to all. This is Marlene Saunders saying something again. Yeah. Oh, she just repeated the message. Edwin Joseph says, blessed, have a grand day. And Mrs. R is laughing and smiling. And that's it for people in the stream, Sir Charles.
All right. Let's see who we have on the WhatsApp. Kent out there in Laventille came in very early this morning. Then we had Fifi out there in Addis Ababa saying, good morning, good afternoon, gentlemen. Peter Wilson, good day to you. St. James, people we're talking about. Archbishop Ashton Clark in Brampton, Canada. Miss St. Augustine, good day to you. Rena Boodoo Jennings, sipping on her coffee this morning. Captain Ron, who is back in Orlando. CJ out there in New York. Frank Andrews in Aruka. Carlin and Kelly out of Carenage. Who we had again? We had Miss Ingrid out there in Arizona. Good morning to you, Ingrid. Mr. Billy in Powder Magazine. Zena and the Powder Puff ladies out there in Arima. And Mark, Mr. Bips, good morning to you. And of course, Paulie and Sexy Reds, who are also on the chat this morning with us. All right. So we are now 23 minutes before the hour of 7 o'clock, keeping you always in check with time. We're going to take that break. And when we come back, we'll see what's trending in the newspapers. So don't go anywhere.
All aboard!
Calling all you NETT Radio listeners and fans. It's time to pack your cooler, gather your crews. Join us on NETT Radio, Halloween, Cooler Crew in red, white and black. On board the luxurious Island Royalty, Saturday, 15th of August, boarding at 7 p.m. from Hardcuts, Shagaramas. We sail at 8 p.m. sharp. Enjoy great music all night long from your favorite NETT DJs, Sir Charles, CJ, Mr. Flavor, Doc International, RJ, and Fluffman.
Tell you you's a big dancer. Come show
Early bird tickets are just $200 after $250. Get your tickets now at Crosby in St. James, Rumba, St. James, Bobby's Bar in Kure, Pats International in Arima, K Square Fashions at C3 Center, West Mall and Eastgate Small, and all NETT DJs. No glass bottles allowed. Bring your coolers, bring your crews, and let's celebrate together. NETT Radio, Halloween, Cooler Crew, Saturday, August the 15th, aboard the Island Royalty. For information, call 638-2609 or 497-7173. Call we on the scene.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
What do we all want for Trinidad and Tobago? Safer communities, greater opportunities, and a better future. Join Denise Deming every Tuesday at 11 a.m. on NETT Radio for Common Ground TNT. Each week, respected guests tackle the issues affecting our nation, from crime and education to healthcare, the economy, and good governance. Common Ground TNT, finding solutions through conversation. Tuesdays at 11 a.m. on NETT Radio. NETT Radio.
End times is here. Are you prepared? Check us on New Era TT Radio or NETT Radio with Brother Raka and Brother Yatazakawa on Mondays from 7 to 8 p.m. End times is here. Stay tuned.
Advertise with us on New Era TT Radio, the fastest growing streaming platform for talk in Trinidad and Tobago. Audio and video ads welcome. Elevate your brand with us. Connect with us at newerattradio@yahoo.com or call us at 299-5156. Now what are you waiting for?
Welcome back, everybody.
All right, so I'll get straight into the Trinidad and Tobago Express for this morning, on this Monday morning, Monday the 10th. Is it the 10th? I think it is the 10th of August.
Yes, it is.
2026. 60 years of ties, but no TNT mission in Japan. There are roughly 300 Trinidad and Tobago nationals currently residing nearly 9,000 miles away in Japan. But despite more than 60 years of relations between the two countries, a local diplomatic mission has yet to be established in Tokyo. That's what the headline in one of the trending stories in the Trinidad and Tobago Express today. Japan reaffirms ICC support as U.S. pushes to dismantle court. As the United States mounts a campaign to dismantle the International Criminal Court, Japanese officials have renewed support for its operation, and I expect a lot of countries are going to say that. The United States is not even part of the ICC. Neither is Russia, neither is India, and neither is China. So keep out. If only were part of it, you would have some more moral standing, but you're not part of it. So I'm not understanding your concern. So I think most of the countries around the planet are just going to keep their focus because they are part of it. Penny, TNT remains a First People's homeland. And let me go through more of the stories here. Camille says, sorry to you, the court chairman. Call for probe into CCJ allegations. I saw that on the front page of some of the dailies yesterday for the Sunday Express and Guardian. The CCJ. U.S. Deputy Secretary of State Lando is in Trinidad and Tobago. So welcome, Secretary of State Lando. Hope you have a good time in Trinidad and Tobago over the next couple of days. Japan eyes TNT's oil and gas. Plenty of stories about Japan this morning. Business groups back security posts. Do business groups do anything else but agree with governments? Am I lying? Am I lying? If I'm lying, tell me. Hey, Richard, no, you're telling an untruth. OCM records 10.3 million in half-year pre-tax profit. GML records 14.8 million 6-month loss. Euromoney names Scotia TNT's best bank. Lisa Mohammed vision for TOSL's future. AI firms eyes global growth from TNT, and New Wave aims to turn road repairs into a manufacturing opportunity. And that's it. Let me just go to the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian now, so you can get a sense of what the Guardian is running as its main stories. So the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian, UDCOT steps into Eddie Hart Police Army post dispute. State agency to meet with TPRC chairman on contentious construction. I'm not understanding. It's either, you could get into the politics of things, and I'm not going to get into the politics of things with regard to that. My position on those posts, to me, posts are relevant when there is not, it should be logical, where there is not a police response unit within a particular, however many meters, whatever your formula is. That's how I would work it out. It should have some logic. But beyond all of that, the issue of whether a post can be built by X, Y, or Z, it has to depend on approvals. That's just logical. It has to depend on approvals and approvals from the other agencies. So that said and that being done, that dispute with the government, after the government and the Tunapuna Regional Corporation, and whether the gas line is active or it's not active, everything becomes murky because it becomes now mixed up into all of this. And all it is, it's that if you need approval from whatever governing agency, you need approval. Just like you have procurement regulations, which I know the opposition has raised. Did you follow the procurement regulations or not? To me, that's a simple yes or no. Just answer it.
Process.
Just answer that, yes, we went through the process because the process is law. We went through the process, yes or no. And if it didn't go through the process, go through the process.
Currently.
Morning, guys. I'll wait till you're done.
Okay. CARICOM calls for greater protection and inclusion of indigenous peoples. Netanyahu insists no Gaza withdrawal until Hamas disarms. U.S. Deputy Secretary of State to meet PM on energy and security. Well, I just mentioned that. Mobile security posts spark debate over planning laws. Stormwater damage can be catastrophic, says Trinidad professor. PM to make major statement on energy soon, so says Jared Ramdeen. Region needs to adjust the climate finance strategy, and First Citizens profits dipped 10.2%. Appeal court rules in Republic Bank's favor. And Woods edges out for 200-meter under 20 world bronze. TNT girls make it 2 in a row with gritty win over Ghana. And Narayan Hines bow TKR to victory over Patriots in rain-affected contest. And so that's it, basically, for the Trinidad and Tobago Express and the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian. Before you come in, Wendell, I just wanted to talk about the issue of the before you get into whatever you're going to say, Wendell, the issue of what the Prime Minister would have released sometime last week. Another statement that emanated from the office of the Prime Minister that was, I don't know, odious, not befitting leadership status of a country. And I don't know if it is I know Wendell thinks that it may not be the Prime Minister who's writing it, but it comes under her name, so it means that she has to agree with it. And statements like that have an effect. It has an effect not only on the country, but it has an effect on the international profile of Trinidad and Tobago. When you use language like that, I don't know if leaders in Trinidad and Tobago don't understand that when you speak at a lead as a leader, your words are not neutral. I wonder if they understand that. When you speak as a leader in whatever capacity, and I'm speaking to you, Prime Minister, your words are not neutral. They have an effect one way or the other. And as a leader, your words can either uplift and propel people to be uplifting, or it can disengage people. And that's why language is important in terms of leadership. It's not an arbitrary thing. You're not two children. You're not a child in a primary school yard scuffling with another child in terms of the opposition, and you all can say whatever you want to each other. No, that's not how it works. Leadership and language matters. And odious language and language that is hateful and encouraging a particular narrative is not befitting of leadership status. And if you are not writing those press releases or those social media posts, then fire the person who is. And come out and say it does not reflect. Because you can't put an odious statement like that and then a few days later put up something and says, oh, Trinidad and Tobago is doing better and we are united as one. It rings hollow, it rings cheap, and it is not befitting the position that you occupy. Do better.
You might have to mute your mic for me to talk. I mean, I can't disagree with anything that you just said. It's just that it just seems, I don't know if it's deliberate or what is the strategy for it, that's causing those releases, you understand, from whoever is doing it. and on her behalf. I don't know what is the end game, but the end game is not good because I mean I was just speaking with someone who is known as a supporter, and she too was disturbed, by what is happening, and she said, Wendell, I don't like what's happening, So I mean, but nevertheless, I wanted to touch on that issue of the police post. Once you put down concrete in the ground, it's a structure. It's a structure that needs approval, right? And but I can understand why it ended up reaching that far. And we have Minister Swaraj Singh who listens to us on this program, and maybe he could weigh in on it because, as far as I'm aware, under the Planning Act, he has a lot of power. Now we have a lot of buildings in Trinidad and Tobago, especially in the city of Port of Spain, that have no approval. That was built without approval. Approval may have come after, and maybe not even complete approval. But they went up. We had the infamous Grand Bazaar that was reported to have been built without approval. We have several buildings around the place that have been built without. A lot of the HGC developments didn't get complete approval before they were finished. You know what I mean? So it's not unusual, but under the Act, the planning minister has wide-ranging powers, so that when people get turned down by the regional corporations or even by town and country planning, they can appeal to the minister of planning, and in a lot of instances, I know that for sure because I spent more than 10 years as chairman of planning and development in the city of Port of Spain. A lot of times that person could override any disapproval that you would have gotten. So maybe it might be interesting to get on to Minister Swaraj Singh and speak about these things, especially because these things come under planning. I don't know how the local government minister and the Minister of Homeland Security got involved with that. That it comes under the Minister of Planning. Okay, so that is what I wanted to say on that issue. I'll have a little more to say when I'm in a better position to talk.
Okay, so let's do our Did You Know and come back.
President John F. Kennedy called him the Jackie Robinson of the Secret Service. But the unfiltered truth is that the system put Abraham Bolden through a living nightmare and destroyed his reputation the second he threatened to tell the truth about what happened in Dallas. Meet Abraham Bolden. In 1961, he made history as the first black man to serve on the Presidential Protective Detail. This wasn't a man who just got the job. He was a graduate of Lincoln University, a member of Alpha Phi Alpha, a detective, and a state trooper. He had a stellar record and 2 commendations for cracking counterfeit rings. He was the elite of the elite. But inside the Secret Service, Bolden wasn't treated like a hero. He was a witness to a culture of total negligence. While he was tasked with protecting the leader of the free world, he watched white agents show up half-drunk on the job. He saw them using Secret Service vehicles to transport their girlfriends. And when he tried to report this to his superiors, they didn't fix the security. They called him racial slurs and told him to get back in line. Then the world stopped on November 22nd, 1963. After JFK was assassinated, the Warren Commission began investigating. Abraham Bolden made it known to his colleagues that he was going to testify. He was ready to tell the commission about the lax security, the drinking, and the total lack of discipline he witnessed on the detail. Coincidentally, or let's be unfiltered, strategically, just weeks after he mentioned his intent to testify, the government turned on him. Bolden was suddenly accused of trying to sell government secrets for $50,000. Despite his impeccable record and his vehement denials, the system worked overtime to silence him. He was found guilty and served 39 months in a federal prison. They didn't just take his freedom, they took his name. For decades, the history books ignored Abraham Bolden. Or worse, they labeled him a traitor. But Bolden is a warrior. He spent 60 years fighting for the truth. He wrote his memoir, he built a life in the private sector, and he waited. In 2022, at the age of 87, he finally received vindication when President Biden officially pardoned him. Abraham Bolden is still with us today, 91 years old, a living reminder that the truth can be buried, but it never dies.
Yeah, what a thing. What a thing. Injustices that take place. I
Yeah.
felt what they knew. Did you know?
Yeah, this is the point at
Apologies, I
which.
forgot to say good morning, guys. Good
Oh,
morning
what?
to Richard and Sir Charles and to listeners, okay? I forgot to say good morning. My
Oh,
apologies.
yeah. Is everything all right now, Sir Charles?
Monitoring.
All right. Anyway, yeah. So of course, this is the point at which we can open up our lines before we get to our morning pull and before we get to the 7 o'clock news on this morning, on this Monday morning, I should say. You know, so we can open up the lines at this point: 2811315, 2811315, and 299-5156, 299-5156. Where we can take your calls at this point.
Allow me also to say happy birthday quickly to my sister Luan and my nephew Cleo. They both celebrating their birthdays today, and I think today is Tini's birthday too. I think it is.
And you know what gets me, Wendell, because you referenced somebody saying, and to me, you can't be a right thinking. I know people get loyal and rabid in terms of their support for their political parties, because that's just human nature. You see it around the planet. You know, people get rabid and illogical in terms of analyzing stuff, and I can't but wonder, is this the thinking of all of the people in the UNC in terms of, I'm not talking about UNC supporters, because I know there are many UNC supporters that do not support the language use and stuff like that. But the ministers, is it that they are afraid to speak up? Is there no voice in the room that can set you straight? Is there no voice that says, Prime Minister, that release was offensive and was in the wrong direction in terms of unifying the country? Nobody has the cojones in the entire cabinet to say that. Is that the buttering of your bread is so important that you are going to relinquish the responsibility you have not to voters, but to the future of the country and the discourse of this country? Because those sorts of words stay in the space virtually forever, because it's now historically recorded. And how are young people analyzing and receiving that kind of language? I don't understand. Are there no adults in the room?
You know what I was wondering, Richard, also with the second release that I saw, I was wondering how authentic that is, because I was looking to try to see where else I saw it, and I didn't see it anywhere else. I'm wondering if that was an authentic release put out by the OPM. Yeah.
Has anybody come out and said it was not authentic?
Well, I haven't heard anything like that either.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So one has to then assume it is. Because if it's not, you'd be quick on the draw, wouldn't you?
Well,
And
provided it went in the right places.
Yeah, it went viral basically. And I'm like, are there no adults sitting on in the room that says, no, this is unacceptable? Do none of you all appreciate the damage to the Trinidad and Tobago psyche when leadership speaks like that? There is nobody, are they all afraid of her? Is that it? I don't know. I'm trying to work it out.
They must be afraid of the person who writing it. They must be afraid of the person who writing it.
What is the person who's saying it?
Surely, as an adult, you have to stand for something. And if you don't stand for something, well, I mean, there are many people that don't stand for anything, I guess, maybe, I don't know. But I just find it amazing that I have to even come on our morning show and even articulate to me what should be obviously clear in terms of the standards that we should uphold as a country.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I suspect there's a strategy, but I don't know what the strategy is. Who is it? Who is it being saying armor? Because as I say, the UNC people are saying that they don't like it. They are saying they don't like it.
Anyhow, guys, the morning poll. Let's see if I can get it up inside here for you guys. And this morning poll came out of a story in the Guardian, providing I can get and pull it up with all the ads that come with it. So just give me a minute. Let me just clear some ads here. Right. So the story in the Guardian is that the Office of the Prime Minister, oh Lord, it didn't go on right. OPM awaits legal advice from AG on release of PM's travel records, right? So in the Guardian over the weekend, they had a story that that says the Office of the Prime Minister, the OPM, has spent nearly 6 months deciding whether to grant a freedom of information request for records showing how many overseas trips the Prime Minister took, who traveled with her, and the costs to taxpayers. So last Friday, in response to Guardian Media, the OPM sought a fifth 30-day extension, saying only that the application was currently receiving attention. The latest extension comes after the office and let's skip again. The latest extension comes after the office said it needed legal advice from the Attorney General because of the high-level nature of the meetings attended during those trips. So, from that story in The Guardian, we are asking you, should the Office of the Prime Minister release details of the Prime Minister's overseas travels? So, apparently, The Guardian has been trying for a few months trying to get that information, where the travels were, who went on the travels, and how much it cost taxpayers. And they seem to have been getting a runaround from the OPM, which is the Office of the Prime Minister. So, should they release that information? So that is what we are asking you as we go to news. When we come back, we'll tell you how you voted. If you're voting, if you say yes, you're voting 1. If you are saying no, well, you are voting 2. All right, guys?
Yeah, man.
All
But the
right.
Prime Minister hasn't done much traveling, has she?
I don't know. Well, if they've been probably fighting up with this since January, February, probably might have been probably last year.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
For that particular period, whatever was happening. But regardless of how,
But why would that be a secret? Why would the Office of the Prime Minister not want to answer something like that? I mean, come on.
yeah. All right, so we're going to the news at 7 o'clock. Stay with us here on The Breakfast Show, people.
The news you need, the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is NETT Radio News Now.
This is News Now on NETT Radio and Guile TV. I am Derek McMillan. Thank you for joining us. Prime Minister Kamla Prasad Bisesar is expected to make significant announcements on the energy sector within the next 3 to 4 days. National Gas Company Chairman Gerald Ramdeen says the government, NGC, and international energy partners have spent the past 2 months working on initiatives aimed at generating greater economic benefits for the country. He says significant work is also taking place at the Point Lisas industrial estate with existing companies and potential new investors. The announcements come as NGC secured freehold ownership of the land housing its Beachfield gas processing facility. NGC says the development clears the way for upgrades needed to support the Manatee Gas Project and strengthen the country's domestic gas supply. The Urban Development Corporation of Trinidad and Tobago, UDECOT, has stepped into the dispute over the Eddie Hart Mobile Police Post. UDECOT, which has identified itself as project manager, will meet with officials of the Tunapuna Piarco Regional Corporation tomorrow. The meeting follows 2 days of confrontation over construction at the site. TPRC Chairman Josiah Austin says the corporation supports the police post but wants proper consultation. Government says construction of the concrete foundation was completed on Friday, although the mobile police unit had not yet been installed when the site was visited yesterday. The TPRC has served a violation notice and says it has 5 days to respond. Meanwhile, government says work is also underway on mobile police posts at Grand Bazaar and Taruba, as part of plans to establish 30 joint police and armor posts across the country. Opposition attorneys have asked the Office of the Procurement Regulator to investigate the procurement process for the construction of 30 joint Army police posts across Trinidad and Tobago. The complaint was filed by former PNM government minister and attorney Randall Mitchell on behalf of activist Wendell Eversley, with opposition MP Stuart Young instructing on the matter. The attorneys say there is insufficient public information on how the project was awarded, including the procurement method, contractor selected, costs, and funding source. They are questioning whether the procurement complied with the Public Procurement and Disposal of Public Property Act. The attorneys want the regulator to examine the complete procurement record and have urged that the matter be treated as urgent, as construction is reportedly underway or imminent. Prime Minister Kamla Prasad Bisesar is expected to make significant announcements on the energy sector within the next 3 to 4 days. National Gas Company Chairman Gerald Ramdeen says the government, NGC, and international energy partners have spent the past 2 months working on initiatives aimed at generating greater economic benefits for the country. He says significant work is also taking place at the Point Leases industrial estate with existing companies and potential new investors. The announcements come as NGC secured freehold ownership of the land housing its Beachfield gas processing facility. NGC says the development clears the way for upgrades needed to support the Manatee Gas Project and strengthen the country's domestic gas supply. In the region, 5 of the 6 sitting judges of the Caribbean Court of Justice are accusing President Justice Winston Anderson of adopting an authoritarian approach to running the regional court. The allegations emerged in internal correspondence following a dispute over a proposed judicial dress code. The judges raised concerns about unilateral decision-making, the composition of judicial panels, and alleged attempts to influence the outcome of cases. Justice Peter Jamadar described the court's internal environment as increasingly toxic, while Justice Chile Ebweosuji referred to what he called a level of dictatorship in the administration of the judiciary. The judges are calling for an urgent meeting to address what they describe as growing disenchantment and a potential crisis at the CCJ. Finally, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has rejected U.S. President Donald Trump's 15-point Gaza peace plan, saying Israel will not withdraw its forces until Hamas is genuinely disarmed. Netanyahu says Israel will continue to prevent threats against its forces and citizens, while negotiations with U.S. officials continue. Hamas, however, says it remains committed to the agreement and is prepared to work on implementing the plan, but insists that Israel must end its military actions and withdraw from Gaza. Trump's plan calls for the disarmament of Hamas, an Israeli military withdrawal, and the reconstruction of Gaza. Netanyahu's rejection is being seen as another setback to the proposed peace agreement. And that is NETT Radio News at this time.
That was News Now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio. NETT Radio.
Your mid-morning just got better. Join Sir Charles for the mid-morning mix and mingle, where good music, real talk, health, and family matters come together, and your voice is heard. Whether you're at work, on the go, or just taking a break, this is the perfect mix to keep you engaged, informed, and entertained. The mid-morning mix and mingle, weekdays, 9 a.m. to 12 noon on New Era TT Radio, NETT Radio.
Fresh energy. This is the NETT Radio Breakfast Show.
On around 1974,
a mother named Calypso, Junior appeared to be so much more. Over the years he began to grow, but like his grandfather Paca Linda and grandmammy Sweet Cariso, the family traits of little boy soca could I never hide me just so. He is the head of the fetting class, the heart of the carnival. He's the jumping legs in the mass, the waistline causing bacchanal. A mother's child feet just cannot hide, and this everybody know. If you look real deep down inside, soca is the soul of Calypso. Let me hear you. Calypso is soca, and soca is Calypso. Sister Chutney and brother Raga, also born here in Trinidad. So you don't have to look no further. I sure everybody don't know. If one spirit in child and mother, soca in the soul of Calypso. Let me hear you. Rampa dampa dampada, hey rampa dampa dampa, say rampa dampa dampada, say rampa dampa dum dum. Rampa say when I dead, bury me close. Mommy say Santi Manite, soca sing out Bahia girl and take the crown Fantastic Friday. While mommy down south in Skinner Park, soca in tongue in stink and dirty Juve. Say the both of them love to party in almost the very same way. Mommy love to be up in the tent, while she son jamming on radio. Mommy prefer a sit down event. The son love a truck on the road. Even though things about them might differ, it's one thing everybody know. If you're looking deep down inside, soca is the soul of Calypso. Let me hear you. Padam padam pada, hey ram padam padam. I tell a lie, ram padam padam. I tell no lie, padam padam bam. Look, soca grow up to be a big man. Now, almost 50 years old. His grandchildren set out and plan to be famous like him round the world. Looking back at all his years, on the things that he made us do, the grands have no doubts and no fears. They'll have the whole world doing it too. Moving to the left, moving to the right. Yes, balancing whole night, feeling hot, hot, hot for spite. Dingo laying in share the light, from tying we head with cloth like Baptist to jumping and waving flag to and fro. Soca is a spiritual bacchanalist, just like Calypso. Let me hear you. Rampa dampa dampada, hey rampa dampa dampa, say rampa dampa dampada, say rampa dampa dum dum. Born around 1974 to a mother named Calypso, Junior appeared to be so much more. Over the years he began to grow, but like his grandfather Paca Linda and grandmammy Sweet Cariso, the family traits of little boy soca could I never hide me just so. He is the head of the fetting class, the heart of the carnival. He's the jumping legs in the mass, the waistline causing bacchanal. A mother's child feet just cannot hide, and this everybody know. If you look real deep down inside, soca is the soul of Calypso. Let me hear you. Calypso is soca, and soca is Calypso. Sister Chutney and brother Raga, also born here in Trinidad. So you don't have to look no further. I sure everybody don't know. If one spirit in child and mother, soca in the soul of Calypso. Let me hear you. Rampa dampa dampada, hey rampa dampa dampa, say rampa dampa dampada, say rampa dampa dum dum. Rampa say when I dead, bury me close. Mommy say Santi Manite, soca sing out Bahia girl and take the crown Fantastic Friday. While mommy down south in Skinner Park, soca in tongue in stink and dirty Juve. Say the both of them love to party in almost the very same way. Mommy love to be up in the tent, while she son jamming on radio. Mommy prefer a sit down event. The son love a truck on the road. Even though things about them might differ, it's one thing everybody know.
Fueling your day with the best music
So we welcome you inside of the second hour. This is the Breakfast Show. Yes, it is the Breakfast Show. Monday to Friday, you find us here. Wendell Stephen, Richard Ragobar singing, and of course, yours truly, Sir Charles. The soul of Calypso. Rum-pa-dum-pa-dum. All right, okay. Anyhow, people, it's now 15 minutes past the hour of 7 o'clock. And of course, thank you so much for being with us here on this Monday edition. Want to say a very special good morning to all our early risers, those that came in very early, all the folks that came in along the way. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for being here. And of course, the people on Gael Caribbean TV. Good morning to Uncle Carol and the team. Thank you very much for taking us to the rest of the Caribbean. And we remember when you don't see us on Gael Caribbean TV, because as we get closer to 9 o'clock, we disappear there. And of course, you don't get us on our social media pages, Facebook and YouTube. You come across to netradiott.com. Yeah. netradiott.com. And of course, you can listen to us all day, every day. All right. Of course, all our social media pages, you can check it out. So whether it be Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, or WhatsApp, you can find us at NETT Radio Trinidad. You can also find us at NETT Radio Trinidad on TuneIn, Online Radio Box, Simple Radio, MyTuner, any platform that you stream. You can get us. Just put in the browser NETT Radio Trinidad. Tell your Google and smart devices, Alexa, play NETT Radio Trinidad, or play any TT Radio Trinidad. You're sure to find us that way. And of course, don't forget to like, subscribe, support, and donate to the channel, okay? Calypso is soca, and soca is calypso. Alright, so our morning poll is up. We're asking you the question. Well, we'll write it for you, and of course, we'll give you a little more details on the other side. But shouldn't the OPM, which is the Office of the Prime Minister, release details of the Prime Minister's overseas travels, right? Guardian Media has been trying to get that information. Freedom of Information Act. I don't know why we have it when we can't get information. Anyhow. Should it be released? If you're saying yes, you're voting 1. Should it not be released? If you're saying no, you're voting 2. And when we come back, we'll tell you how we have voted, people. Yeah, people, we're just counting down the days now, including today, what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. As they're getting ready for the Color Week cruise. I hope by now you got your tickets, people. Yeah.
Calling all you NETT Radio listeners and fans. It's time to pack your cooler, gather your cruise. Join us on NETT Radio. NETT Radio Color Week Cooler Crew in red, white, and black. On board the luxurious Island Royalty, Saturday, 15th of August, boarding at 7 p.m. from Hardcuts, Shagaramas. We sail at 8 p.m. sharp. Enjoy great music all night long from your favorite NETT DJs, Sir Charles, CJ, Mr. Flavor, Doc International, RJ, and Fluffman.
Tell you you's a big dancer. Come show
Early bird tickets are just $200 after $250. Get your tickets now at Crosby in St. James, Rumba, St. James, Bobby's Bar in Crep, Pats International in Arima, K Square Fashions at C3 Center, West Mall and Eastgate Small, and all NETT DJs. No glass bottles allowed. Bring your cooler, bring your cruise, and let's celebrate together. NETT Radio, NETT Radio, Color Week Cooler Cruise, Saturday, August the 15th, aboard the Island Royalty. For information, call 638-2609 or 497-7173. Color Week on the sea.
S&H Rum Box, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rum Box, drinking out of the box.
What do we all want for Trinidad and Tobago? Safer communities, greater opportunities, and a better future. Join Denise Deming every Tuesday at 11 a.m. on NETT Radio for Common Ground TNT. Each week, respected guests tackle the issues affecting our nation, from crime and education to healthcare, the economy, and good governance. Common Ground TNT, finding solutions through conversation. Tuesdays at 11 a.m. on NETT Radio, NETT Radio.
End times is here. Are you prepared? Check us on New Era TT Radio or NETT Radio with Brother Raka and Brother Yatazakawa on Mondays from 7 to 8 p.m. End times is here. Stay tuned.
Advertise with us on New Era TT Radio, the fastest growing streaming platform for talk in Trinidad and Tobago. Audio and video ads welcome. Elevate your brand with us. Connect with us at newerattradio@yahoo.com or call us at 299-5156. Now what are you waiting for?
Okay. Okay. Didn't realize when they went behind you. Please switch a route this morning. All right, people. So we are back. Welcome back to the second hour of the breakfast show right here on the net. And we're happy to be here with you inside of this hour. Yeah, you're looking normal now. You're muted. Or? You're muted. See? Unmute the microphone, please.
Hey, oh boy, why did that? How did that mute? Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
word.
lots of votes on the chat this morning and lots of debate on so many other things, including the tune of choice, Sir Charles. I'm now seeing a raging debate about your tune of choice.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
our poll this morning, let's put back up the poll for the people who may not have seen it now.
Yeah. And the poll came from the fact that Guardian Media has been, since either January or February, been trying to get information. Now, remember, we have a thing called the Freedom of Information Act.
Mm-hmm. FYI.
We might have to get rid of that just now, because I find every time somebody goes to get information, they have to either end up going to court or take some big name lawyer to get the information. You and I get our information.
Well, information that you'd think would be easy to get. I mean, why would it be difficult? And most times when the media present something like this, Sir Charles, they already know the answer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Most times when the media is asking these kind of questions through that medium, they already have the answer. And it has nothing to do with the Prime Minister herself, is who's been traveling with her. That's what the people want to find out.
And what it costing the taxpayers if these people have no business on the trip. You understand? I mean, it's legitimate, So, but I can't understand, why they would be hedging. And I find this Freedom of Information Act, every time somebody trying to get information from any state agency, you have to go look for a senior counsel, or so clearly it seems to be a joke. That's why we might have to ask a poll question: should we get rid of it?
Yeah.
But nothing less than 5 occasions the Guardian has been trying to get information as to the Prime Minister's travels, what it is costing to taxpayers, and who are the people that have been accompanying the Prime Minister on some of these trips.
Yeah.
No less than 5 times. They just asked for another 30-day extension. Yeah.
I feel they're trying to find out who writing the missus for her. I feel that is what they're trying to find. Who writing her post for her.
Because that person might be on the trip.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I didn't get chance to go through the entire chat. But is Dean Allen, has he put her name? No, Dean Allen, that's not the name. That's not the name. I haven't gotten a chance to go through the chat this morning at all. Because I was using my phone. But
so
yeah.
when they'll feel you know who the name is.
If I feel I know who the name is, I know who it is.
Yeah, you know?
I know who it is.
Not LL.
No.
As in the past, right?
Nah.
Okay. I thought LL was still in the background there doing some work.
It's a name that was in the past, but people ain't gonna remember it, so.
Okay.
People ain't gonna remember it. Anyway, our poll is up. Should the Office of the Prime Minister, the OPM, release details of the Prime Minister's overseas travel? Yes, you're voting 1. No, you're voting 2. We could take a couple calls on it. I really don't even know why that is an issue.
Quiet, you know?
Yeah.
281-1315-299-5156. Yeah, give us a call. What are your thoughts on it? We're taking your calls now. 281-1315-299-5156. And I find our phone lines has been kind of it's working because all the WhatsApp coming through with your vote, so that made it working. So, yeah, but you all are kind of quiet this morning. I don't know. Maybe it's the heat on the Monday. And that boy, this weekend was a hot weekend.
Yeah.
Hot.
You know what? I saw another story, and thanks for Beauty Culture for reminding me. That's the last message that came up there. The decision to move the Independence Day parade. What is going on? I mean, I saw Stuart Young posted yesterday about some activity that he's seeing in the savannah, and that they're apparently constructing something or looking to pave another part. Is that true? Is this or what is going on really? I didn't quite get the gist of the story. Is that why they're doing that, to move the Independence Day parade across there? But why?
Because I think the North Stand is still up.
Oh, is that why?
I think
the North Stand must be still up because the contractor must be and get paid. Because the downtown stand only come down 2 weeks ago, you know.
Yeah.
And it's because the contractor didn't get paid.
Okay. So the longer they take to pay the contractor, well, I suppose it's more they'll have to pay the man now because it's up.
And remember the boast was that they paid a lot less for the erection and dismantling of the stand this year than they ever paid. Remember the chairman of NCC said that?
Yeah, I think I remember that.
That the figures that they got, the contractors did it for a lot less.
Yeah, a lot less than what was normal.
Well, they a lot less and they still didn't get paid. So we're going to pave another part of the savannah. Spend money to mess up the savannah again. And we all know how that went the last time it was done, eh? Our government minister at the time, I don't know if he was a minister, Eden Shan, God rest his soul, lie down in front of the backhoe, you know.
Yeah. I think that
Remember all the drama when it was Carlos John was the minister. Yes. And he lied down in front of the backhoe. Well, nevertheless, it was paved. And of course, that contributed a lot to all the runoff water that headed down to the city of Port of Spain. A lot of people know that, I'm sure. Right? But why are they spending so much money on this thing? I mean, the government have money to police posts that all of a sudden going up. And they make a decision that they're going to do it in the next 4 months. Right away, the police posts going up. And you're seeing panels done. So some planning was taking place all the time to spend the money and get these things done. Huh?
Well, according to the Homeland Security Minister, remember he said that it took, I don't want to misquote him, he said this has been planned for 1 year, 4 months, and 3 weeks, 2 days ago.
Oh, Lord. I was trying my best not to listen to that.
3 weeks.
Not to listen to him, you know. I was trying not. I really don't find anybody should be at that level of government. I really don't find anybody should be that daft at that level of government. Nobody should be sounding and expressing themselves like him, like that. Nobody in government, nobody at any level of government should be speaking like that. Better they don't speak. That's why I tell you, I remember very earlier said him, he should stay away from the media. He should stay far away from the media.
No, he can't stay far from the media. The media had to go after him because, especially when everything's circling.
And have him talking too much stupidness, Sir Charles. Huh? It's one thing to use bad grammar, but the next thing to just misuse words entirely and talk a set of parable.
But I'm all right, that's my MPS. That's my MP. That's my MP. All right, I want to something. You understand?
They shouldn't put him through that. Yeah. Anyway, our poll, we got any calls coming in on the poll?
Actually, no, I don't know what's going on with the end poll. Let me get all the poll results anyhow. All right. So, right. When
the poll is up. 97% said yes, that they should release the details, and 3% said no. 97% said yes, 3% said no. All right? So that's the results of today's poll.
That is the result.
I know Richard had to run off early today. He probably gone already.
Yeah.
All
right, so we are here. All right, so now we get the poll out of the way, or you could call us on anything else, right? 2811-315-299-5156. The lines are open, and we are taking your calls, and we have a caller coming in. Caller, good morning.
Good morning, Sir Charles.
Hey, morning,
I
Lincoln.
had a question for you before you said what you just said there. And what you just said there answered my question. My question for you this morning was that how you feel as a Tunaponian after that last interview that was said, Roger Alexander. How you feel as a Tunaponian to have that man representing your community? How does that make you feel?
After Sir Charles' answer, I want to give an opinion on it.
I'm not worried by it in that kind of way. You know, I understand people's capabilities and limitations, so I kind of work around with it.
Well,
let me help you, Sir Charles. Lincoln, him representing an area, I have absolutely no problem with. I think representation should come from anybody and across the board, especially people who may not have had a formal education, but they're very good with people and helping out people. I have no problem with that. Him representing Tunapuna is not the problem.
Him doing anything like that in Tunapuna?
What was that? Him? I don't know. I don't know how his representation is. I'm just saying, as a representative, I have no problem with people not being formally educated. Right? I have no problem with that. I have but the problem will come in when you give that person such a high level ministry who has to interact with the public.
That level.
That is where the problem lies.
Could affect people. That level is a position that could affect people's lives. You and I have spoken about this on several times on this platform. That when you affect people, when you have the power to affect people's lives, and by extension livelihood, because if you send out a detention order for me and I lock up in prison for 3 months, whatever job I have going to fire me. Whatever position integrity I have, I might lose, such as the Hadids. You have the power to affect not just my life, but livelihood. Have a person as
but caller, in all honesty, also, even if it wasn't Mr. Alexander, right, and the government themselves is following a particular line. This is what we are going to use because we want to achieve something. Even if it wasn't Mr. Alexander, it would have been somebody else carrying out the very same instructions. You know, it might have been the best eloquent speaker carrying out the very same government instruction because this is the part that the government is working with.
And you're absolutely right, you know.
True.
The problem is
We are some better.
Wendell and I, and unfortunately, deceased Karen, have been following this man's character and this man's personality for the longest of while.
Mm-hmm.
And we could discern what is Roger Alexander's plans. If Trinidad and Tobago can't do it, we could do it, because everything that is happening now, he has said in his program for the last 10 years that this is the way we should do these things. Everything that is happening now. Okay?
Yeah, he could be disastrous.
The program, and you see what's happening now. Everything that he said on the program is being manifested now. And I'm blaming the government. I know that is Roger Alexander's intent to run this place as a dictatorship, police rule state. Okay?
All right.
After God is police. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
All the arrows pointed at Lincoln.
Yeah. You know, but at the end of the day, you know, I can recognize, you know, people in certain positions having certain limitations, and yes, you will try your best to elevate yourself, or you should, you know, try to elevate yourself once you fit yourself in certain positions, you know. But maybe he's trying. I don't know. I can't say whether he's trying or not. Maybe over time he might get better at the communication part of it.
No, he can't get better.
But at the end of it all, when his term is up, if there's delivery on service as to what he wants to achieve where crime is concerned, well, that is where I will judge him. I will judge him on his delivery of what the government plans to do and suppress, get rid of, and eliminate as much crime as possible. And if at the end of that they have achieved that, well then, how do I fault the man? Do I take a good speaker who can't do nothing? We had that before. We had real good speakers. Nothing wasn't happening.
Is it that you're saying, Sir Charles, that whatever the methodology he uses, you don't care once it achieves a particular outcome? Is that what you're saying?
I know you are trying to get me to say.
I'm asking a question. Is that what you're saying?
I am not saying that.
I try to analyze what people say. So I'm trying to understand what you're saying. That once it achieves a particular output, you don't care about the methodology to accomplish that output, or you do care?
Richard,
let me help him. Let me see if I can help him. Richard, because Dean Allen hit the nail on the head. People believe in a police state until the police state bites them or hold them. So people will be comfortable with what happened, until it happened to them. Or until it happened to a relative of theirs where they had to run to figure out how to get them out from wherever. But
I just, because obviously this government has gone down a particular road in terms of using states of emergency as a crime fighting tool, like no other government in our history, quite frankly. Further to, as far as I'm concerned, manipulating the Constitution to extend the state of emergency by bypassing the required 3/5 majority for that third period and just breaking it for a few days, like you're breaking off somebody's contract, and then saying, okay, we could rehire you now again, and which, as far as I'm concerned, the president was complicit with in terms of allowing it. That's just my opinion. Legal minds could disagree, and the president is free to disagree. But that's how I see it. It was an obvious gerrymandering to achieve a particular end. This Minister of Homeland Security is one who defended the ridiculousness of the Trinidad Police Service, locking down the country because they didn't get certain terms and conditions. By locking down the country in a gridlock that made international news. That's the person who is in charge of Homeland Security.
Yep. We interviewed.
Understand, when people show you who they are, believe them. And I understand that maybe the Minister of Homeland Security is honestly, and I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, is honestly trying to do a job that is difficult, and is doing it in a way where maybe he has the intentions to achieve a particular end in a good way. Let's give him that benefit of the doubt, okay? That he's trying to actually do a job in a good way to achieve a particular good end for the benefit of Trinidad and Tobago. But how you do it matters.
All right, hold 1 minute there, Rick. Caller, good morning.
Charles, good morning.
Morning, Dabity.
Dale and Richard, good morning to you as well.
Morning.
Good morning.
You know, Lincoln Sir Charles knows what he's talking about, because this current Minister of National Security is the one who gave him the name Nemesis, because he felt that he was asking too much questions that he really couldn't answer. And I used to watch Beyond the Tape those days when Marlon and Rogers used to be doing it, right? And Lincoln is so correct. The tone, the words that used to come out of his mouth are what he's doing today. It was like, yeah, it's not. Everyone's trying to tell him, what's that? If that was me, boy, you would have been singing a certain song when a funeral march, And all those years when I listen to what he's saying and what he's doing now, that coming to pass, he wanted this place to be like in a police state. And like he gets it, because this is like what the Prime Minister needs as well. Whatever they do to achieve something, that's what it has to be. All right? And the irony of what he's been saying to his friend me, he was a police officer, senior one of that, and wanted to tell people now what the PNM do for crime in how much 9.5 years. That's his mantra too. 9.5 years. What the PNM do for crime? But none of the police PNM ministers or anything like that was a police officer. You were the police officer. What did you do as an officer of the law? So you want to come back and put it in the PNM. So he, to me, is like want to achieve something. Like you remember when they first came in, you say we go bring the murders under what about a little amount in 3 months, and when 3 months reach, 6 months reach, they bring up an excuse and are invoking the spirit of the PNM again. That's what they didn't do. They didn't do infrastructure. They didn't have technology. They didn't have all these things, and that was soon whitewashed by Gary Griffith because they had those things. Probably he didn't know how to use them. So that's why he's saying so. So Charles, I mean, I think the jacket, when somebody is doing wrong, when a minister is doing wrong, what does it take to say you're doing wrong? So they might be able to do it correctly the next time. Criticism is, to me, something good. I mean, if you give them criticism when it's not worth it, it don't make sense. But if you criticize it, let me call it criticizing for criticizing, say it's for the other person to do better. And all these things what this minister is saying and doing, people say criticize him and so on, but I'm sure you will learn something from that. Because I am sure you went to the dictionary to spell the word he used subsequently and see what it meant. Have a good morning, people.
All right.
Yeah. You don't understand, that last caller obviously doesn't understand the level of hubris that infects politicians. And I'm not talking about UNC politicians. I don't know about politicians generally. Okay, there's not a UNC issue. That's a politician issue. And it takes a really strong character as a human being to know, to remain humble and to remain with your head on in a particular way with regard to how you govern. And very few politicians accomplish that. A lot of them, that hubris infects them, and they really don't care at the point that they're in power about what you have to say. You think, but you think he's gonna take up a dictionary to clarify what he said and what he mispronounced? Come on, that's not happening. And because he holds the power to do certain things, and as I said, a lot of the times you give you elect in a democratic society, you elect a government, and you assume that that government has a certain level of benevolence in it, in terms of how it rules, and it rules for the betterment of citizens. And I know that the word police state keeps cropping up. And I would have said last week that no police state didn't happen in countries that are police states. Didn't happen dramatically one day. You went to bed one morning and you got up the other day and it was a police state. It's incrementally things were enacted that people supported, and people said, yes, do this, do that. It will give us this particular result. Continue to do this, continue to do that. Yes. And then one day you realize how much you have actually ceded and how much you have actually given up. And I have said repeatedly that this civilian government seems to have ceded a lot of its authority to rule to the TTPS.
All right, hold right there. Caller, good morning.
Good morning, Sir Charles, Richard, and Wendell.
Morning.
Good morning to you, gentlemen. Is do what I say and not what I do. This military state that this government want to have we under, imagine they want we now to bring out, you must have your ID card on you. And if you don't have your ID card out, are they going to charge people because they don't have the ID card on them? You understand? This police and army post that they're putting up here and everywhere, I have nothing against that. I am full support of that. But at the end of the day, it have a way of doing procedure. You don't put up post and then look to see if you get clearance. You go to the relevant authorities, whoever running Eddie had wrong, whoever wrongs, or you're putting up these posts on, you're supposed to meet with them. Say, here we're going to put up these posts. We want to have an army and police sort of thing going on. So you know to keep the people, because the SOE can do, you can only have SOE for so long. So you have to try and have some kind of crime fighting plan going on. So there's one crime fighting plan they're trying to push out. I'm in full support of that, but you must meet with the relevant authorities concerning these posts that they're putting up here and everywhere. For example, Eddie had grounds, or you don't have people seeing about the grounds in the GSO. It have people making sure the grounds are kept clean and whatnot. You're supposed to meet with them. It have a gas pipe running, you know find out afterwards. Come on, better than that. You should meet with the people, not because there's a Minister of Homeland Security, you feel you're high and mighty. No. There's people who are there and then who below underneath you feel better than them. No, we're not on that. I find this government, like, wherever there is like a farm. Anything goes. Come on, I don't want people to follow example. We have to lead by example. For example, our Prime Minister calling herself that name. And then when you have children watching on, especially East Indian children watching on, they go say, that is me? No man, better than that. Every day.
Well, the Mahasabha come out in support of the name. They said they have no problem with it.
Something good.
Yeah, thanks, Susie.
Yeah. I didn't think I would see that day that the Mahasabha actually say they don't have a problem with that word. I never thought I'd see that day in Trinidad. But guess what? It came.
As I said, it's always about adults.
Hold on, Richard.
My problem with this situation, I was surprised to see Khadija Ahmed, who was once chairman of Philadelphia Regional Corporation. We got here with Roger Alexander, getting free, mixing and so now I find that on the coming of the two of them, they brought their people to justify their actions and things, but going over people's head to do something or to justify something is not right. And they are trying to play victim in the sense that nothing for the safety of people, the cost should not be relevant. These things I find don't make any sense from sensible people. Also, I look at the situation with when the American mail highlighted the problem with the road, and then they decided to pave or patch it. And then now the rhetoric from Ms. Julie John is, where was she 9 years ago? The road in Big Martin was not 49 years period. And every time they have to do something. They always introduce neglect. 9 years of neglect, 10 years of neglect. I listen to the Minister of Public Utilities, same nonsense. The inherited neglect and all these other things. You are here now, fix the damn thing and stop making these free excuses.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks very much, Colin.
Those police posts are places that they're going to be having roadblocks. It's like a checkpoint. That's what those things are for. Because I don't know if it's
but I don't know if it's that. I think maybe it's about making sure that the police can respond. This is what I'm thinking, Wendell. It may not be that the police response time would improve in terms of where they place those posts. I assume there was somebody that sat down and said, this is where we're putting the police posts, and there had to be some strategic benefit for where they're putting it. My personal
if I was close
opinion,
they are Zobel.
My personal opinion is that police posts should be logically, as I said earlier, within so many meters or a mile or two from the next police station. It can't just be arbitrary and just putting it here, there, and here, wherever. It has to synchronize with where there are actually police stations. That's my thinking. So I am not in favor of just putting police posts because you want to prove some point and saying, oh, we build more police posts, and people say, yeah. No. It has to have some sensible approach to it.
Okay.
So I am, as I said before, I am conflicted about it. I'm not 100% in support because what is the bigger strategic objective, and why it is that all of the money we spend in all of those years building out and refurbishing police stations, we still have to spend more to put police posts. How that going to improve your efficiency? That's what needs to happen.
Well, probably. It's not much different to what to what Gary Griffith sort of did also. You know, remember Gary Griffith had I think 90 the rapid response vehicles that they had outfitted in a particular kind of way, and in each police division, because like we had, I think we have 9, and in each police position. Division, there was supposed to be like about 10 of those vehicles always on the road. You used to see them park up all by the gas station. Sometimes you see them different strategic.
So that's very different to what's happening here.
Well, maybe it is, but I am looking at it probably in that same kind of response situation, because the rapid response was supposed to be like when there's a call, these vehicles are always on the road. They would be the first responders to contain or whatever kind of situation if they need backup or whatever is the case, and that was the reason behind it.
And that was a good reason because Commissioner Gibbs was also of the opinion that police officers should not be lying down in a dormitory in a station and be out on the beat. You get plenty licks for that, but that is what policing needs. That is how the crime rate in a lot of these other countries in state of New York and came down by having police officers ready and you turn.
Yeah,
in 5 minutes you see a police officer passing. Yeah. That's what it meant. But putting our concrete structure down and thing, I don't know how that's going to work if it doesn't come with rapid patrols, regular patrols.
You see, we don't know what it coming with. We are just saying that, but I'm just drawing from the rapid response that Gary had. They didn't have a base. So 1 minute you would have seen it park up by the gas station in Tacarigua. Next time you'll see it pull up by somebody business space and park in the driveway. You know, that kind of way. So maybe now that it have a base, it probably might be running in the same kind of way also.
What do you mean it didn't have a base? The base was the barracks?
What I'm saying is that the cars on the road, Wendell, they were parked up at different places. So today you might see the car park up by the gas station. Tomorrow you might see the car park up by Etihad ground in the same area strategically.
So you don't need a post for that then, Sir Charles? What you're saying is that these posts are being placed there for the purposes of disseminating the car? That don't make sense.
No, I don't know what is the real how the thing is going to operate, and I don't think any of us know exactly what is going to be going into those posts, how they are going to be responding. We are just speculating.
Okay.
Hello,
All right.
Morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
I'll make the point already calling about. I want to agree with Wendell about this police post issue. With the type of technology we have these days, as long as they equip the vehicles, there's no need for a police post. In the developed world, the police post becomes a vehicle so that they're in contact, they know where to park, which route to take, all these things. But with a police post, I could tell you, for instance, like if I'm leaving Princestown and I want to avoid the police post at Malgratuit or the one at Golconda, you just take a different route. They have about 4 different routes to reach San Fernando from Princestown. So I don't see the significance of it. And the location they're putting it in is really a kind of traffic hub junction that, as it is now, without a police post, the criminals who want to get away from scrutiny, they know where to pass. Only back roads here and you go here and you go there. So the thing is having communication between the units that out on the field. That's the important thing. That's the modern day concept of doing, kind of flooding the environment. Now, what I really call about is this. I was listening to you, Wendell, and you were so correct when you mentioned the Ministry of Planning. Because when I saw Minister Alexander being questioned about authority to construct the police post, he mentioned the Minister of Local Government, who actually, while she might be aware, the authority lies in the Ministry of Planning. Because just as you say, a school, a secondary school, a mall, certain industrial complexes that are built, certain housing developments, they are really built with just a minimal amount of input from the local authority. Because when in a local authority you have one building inspector, it's really difficult for a building inspector to be looking at all the individual housing developments and then have in front of him a major development, that might require sometimes technical inputs that mightn't be readily available in the corporation. Certain engineering concerns, things with elevators and certain architectural designs. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you're aware, Wendell, but there was an intention to take some of these and develop a sort of self-monitoring process within the engineering community to oversee these things, because they're very complex. So that I know for a fact that what Wendell is saying is true, that kind of authority rests with the minister, because just like how in the Ministry of Health, the minister might have certain authorities that he could override the local health authority in respect of certain major things like say COVID. That is normal in the Ministry of Planning. But to come and talk about it as though, well, the Minister of Planning, the Minister of Local Government is the person responsible, that demonstrates to me that somehow, in terms of the cabinet discussion, maybe the Minister of Planning wasn't involved in that. So I don't think the cabinet working that he, the Minister of Homeland Security, wasn't even aware that the authority is with the Minister of Planning. And if he overseeing that, his advisors and the lawyers they have should be able to tell him, oh, look, this is where you have to go and seek approval to do it otherwise. And the mere fact that it's being constructed over a pipeline is a reason why you need to go through the proper process. Because even if the pipeline is inactive, there would still be concerns, and they could just locate it a few feet away to avoid the pipeline. But if you want to rush it through, then you really have to ask questions about procurement and all these sorts of things, because clearly they're not dotting the T's, dotting the I's and crossing the T's, So correct concept,
But that's why I posted. It was so easy to fix this. Just do the proper thing now. Make the proper applications and go through the proper process. I didn't understand why that got to the stage it got to. And the Minister of Planning, and I'm sure he's listening now, I would love for him to say something, because as I tell you, a lot of times I speak from a position of that type of experience, that knowledge or whatever, So I spent 10 years as chairman of planning and development in the city of Port of Spain. I know the struggles that the building inspectors had. We were promised more building inspectors. One building inspector for the West, he spent a whole month in one street in Woodbrook with all the craziness that's going on. You understand? I know what I speak about, but the Minister of Planning under the Act has wide-ranging powers, and a lot of people don't. Maybe they're not aware that a lot of buildings, a lot of unauthorized buildings, and so on, when corporations step in and say, you can't do this, and they get turned down. An appeal has to be made to the Minister of Planning, and he could say, yes, go ahead and build. And that has happened in this country on more than one occasion under different governments, where the Minister of Planning gave overriding approval. Lord. Anyway.
All right, people. So we are going for the news at 8 o'clock. We wanted to stay with us on the breakfast show. And when we come back, yes, we will continue to take your calls on this very heated Monday morning, but we love to hear from you. So you know what? Stick and stay with us here on the breakfast show. All right. We'll be back in a little bit.
The news you need. The clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is Net Radio News Now.
This is News Now on Net Radio and Guile TV. I am Derek McMillan. Thank you for joining us. Prime Minister Kamla Prasad Bisesar is expected to make significant announcements on the energy sector within the next 3 to 4 days. National Gas Company Chairman Gerald Ramdeen says the government, NGC, and international energy partners have spent the past 2 months working on initiatives aimed at generating greater economic benefits for the country. He says significant work is also taking place at the Point Leases industrial estate with existing companies and potential new investors. The announcements come as NGC secured freehold ownership of the land housing its Beachfield gas processing facility. NGC says the development clears the way for upgrades needed to support the Manatee Gas Project and strengthen the country's domestic gas supply. The Urban Development Corporation of Trinidad and Tobago, UDECOT, has stepped into the dispute over the Eddie Hart Mobile Police Post. UDECOT, which has identified itself as project manager, will meet with officials of the Tunapuna Piarco Regional Corporation tomorrow. The meeting follows 2 days of confrontation over construction at the site. TPRC Chairman Josiah Austin says the corporation supports the police post but wants proper consultation. Government says construction of the concrete foundation was completed on Friday, although the mobile police unit had not yet been installed when the site was visited yesterday. The TPRC has served a violation notice and says it has 5 days to respond. Meanwhile, government says work is also underway on mobile police posts at Grand Bazaar and Taruba, as part of plans to establish 30 joint police and armor posts across the country. Opposition attorneys have asked the Office of the Procurement Regulator to investigate the procurement process for the construction of 30 joint Army police posts across Trinidad and Tobago. The complaint was filed by former PNM government minister and attorney Randall Mitchell on behalf of activist Wendell Eversley, with opposition MP Stuart Young instructing on the matter. The attorneys say there is insufficient public information on how the project was awarded, including the procurement method, contractor selected, costs, and funding source. They are questioning whether the procurement complied with the Public Procurement and Disposal of Public Property Act. The attorneys want the regulator to examine the complete procurement record and have urged that the matter be treated as urgent, as construction is reportedly underway or imminent. Prime Minister Kamla Prasad Bisesar is expected to make significant announcements on the energy sector within the next 3 to 4 days. National Gas Company Chairman Gerald Ramdeen says the government, NGC, and international energy partners have spent the past 2 months working on initiatives aimed at generating greater economic benefits for the country. He says significant work is also taking place at the Point Leases industrial estate with existing companies and potential new investors. The announcements come as NGC secured freehold ownership of the land housing its Beachfield gas processing facility. NGC says the development clears the way for upgrades needed to support the Manatee Gas Project and strengthen the country's domestic gas supply. In the region, 5 of the 6 sitting judges of the Caribbean Court of Justice are accusing President Justice Winston Anderson of adopting an authoritarian approach to running the regional court. The allegations emerged in internal correspondence following a dispute over a proposed judicial dress code. The judges raised concerns about unilateral decision-making, the composition of judicial panels, and alleged attempts to influence the outcome of cases. Justice Peter Jamadar described the court's internal environment as increasingly toxic, while Justice Chile Ebweosuji referred to what he called a level of dictatorship in the administration of the judiciary. The judges are calling for an urgent meeting to address what they describe as growing disenchantment and a potential crisis at the CCJ. Finally, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has rejected U.S. President Donald Trump's 15-point Gaza peace plan, saying Israel will not withdraw its forces until Hamas is genuinely disarmed. Netanyahu says Israel will continue to prevent threats against its forces and citizens, while negotiations with U.S. officials continue. Hamas, however, says it remains committed to the agreement and is prepared to work on implementing the plan, but insists that Israel must end its military actions and withdraw from Gaza. Trump's plan calls for the disarmament of Hamas, an Israeli military withdrawal, and the reconstruction of Gaza. Netanyahu's rejection is being seen as another setback to the proposed peace agreement. And that is NETT Radio News at this time.
That was News Now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio. NETT Radio.
Calling all you NETT Radio listeners and fans. It's time to pack your cooler, gather your crews. Join us on NETT Radio. NETT Radio Halloween Cooler Crew in red, white, and black. On board the luxurious Island Royalty, Saturday, 15th of August, boarding at 7 p.m. from Hardcuts Shagaramas. We sail at 8 p.m. sharp. Enjoy great music all night long from your favorite NETT DJs: Sir Charles, CJ, Mr. Flavor, Doc International, RJ, and Fluffman.
Tell you you's a big dancer. Come show
Early bird tickets are just $200, after $250. Get your tickets now at Crosby in St. James, Rumba, St. James, Bobby's Bar in Kure, Pats International in Arima, K Square Fashions at C3 Center, West Mall, and Eastgate Small, and all NETT DJs. No glass bottles allowed. Bring your coolers, bring your crews, and let's celebrate together. NETT Radio, NETT Radio, Halloween Cooler Crew, Saturday, August the 15th, aboard the Island Royalty. For information, call 638-2609 or 497-7173. Call we on the scene.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
What do we all want for Trinidad and Tobago? Safer communities, greater opportunities, and a better future. Join Denise Deming every Tuesday at 11 a.m. on NETT Radio for Common Ground TNT. Each week, respected guests tackle the issues affecting our nation, from crime and education to healthcare, the economy, and good governance. Common Ground TNT, finding solutions through conversation. Tuesdays at 11 a.m. on NETT Radio, NETT Radio.
End times is here. Are you prepared? Check us on New Era TT Radio or NETT Radio with Brother Raka and Brother Yatazakawa on Mondays from 7 to 8 p.m. End times is here. Stay tuned.
Advertise with us on New Era TT Radio, the fastest growing streaming platform for talk in Trinidad and Tobago. Audio and video ads welcome. Elevate your brand with us. Connect with us at newerattradio@yahoo.com or call us at 299-5156. Now, what are you waiting for?
Okay, everybody, it's now 10 minutes past the hour of 8 o'clock, and we are inside the final hour of the breakfast show on NETT Radio, NETT Radio, and Gael Caribbean TV. So we welcome the folks who are maybe just joining us. Thank you very much for doing so. And of course, we will get back to your calls in a little bit. Just to let you know that our Color Week Cruise is coming up on Saturday. If you have not gotten your tickets, as we are telling you all the time, try and get your tickets now. All right. You need to go to certain places to get those tickets right now. So your tickets are only available right now at Rumbox in St. James. They are only available at Crosby's in St. James, Bobby's Bar in Kirab. Now that's the outlets. So Fats International and all the K-Squared fashion outlets don't have any more tickets, right? So you can only get your tickets at Rumbox, Crosby's, and Bobby's Bar in Kirab. Those are the three places. Or you can call any one of our net DJs and see if they will have a ticket that you can get right now. Or you can give us a call, any one of our numbers. But if you're planning on coming on the cruise with us, well, then you need to make a move ASAP. And of course, if you're not coming on the cruise and you still want to support the cruise or support us here at NETT Radio, you can still, purchase a ticket, or you could still make a donation towards the cruise. You know our numbers, you know how to do it. You can give us a call. But it's happening on Saturday on the Island Royalty, including today. That's 6 days we're talking about right now as we get ready for the cooler cruise. Remember, no glass bottles, plastic bottles or cans, right? That's what you have to work with. And and that is it. So we're looking forward to having a fun time with you guys on Saturday. Come and meet the presenters, at the different shows. Come and meet the guys at the breakfast show. Come and meet the other DJs and presenters who work on the station. And we have some really good DJs on board also. Yeah, so you're well taken care of. So we are boarding at 7 o'clock. So between 7 and 8 we are boarding. 8 o'clock we're moving out. By midnight we're back on the inside, so you can get home early and safe. All right. So the Cove, right down inside of Shagaramas, that is where you're coming. Just before the checkpoint. See that we are talking checkpoints all day. Right? Yeah, get your tickets and come on down on Saturday, right? So we're looking forward to seeing all of you. I'm looking forward to meeting some of you guys, and I know you're trying to put some faces to the voices that we normally hear, right? Okay, Wendell.
Yeah. Of course, this is the opinion of someone who sent me a message. Say what no one is saying is a huge security risk to the officers with these posts. Anyone can ambush them. There's no fencing, no barrier between people and the facilities. I imagine they'll put sandbags somewhere because sandbags is a feature of police posts, So I imagine they probably will put sandbags. You know what I mean? But again, I know officers can't be very happy about this. I know how police officers think, and they are not going to be happy with being put in a police post. Trust me. They never like those mobile units and anyway. They never liked that thing. They're outside of a station. They never liked it. I wish the commissioner and them luck with getting officers who actively want to go there. Unless they're gonna send new recruits out there.
If you sign up for that, you gotta go. If your seniors tell you you're assigned to post number 29 and this week, you gotta go. You gotta tell them I ain't going.
So Charles, what are you living in, boy?
When you can tell your superiors and them you're not going.
So Charles, that has been known to happen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Officers
will find any amount of reason not to go there.
Wow.
Any amount of reason. Especially if it's one in a high risk area, because I don't know all the locations. and what it entails. If it will be as big, maybe some of them wouldn't be as big. You know what I mean? Because that is a pretty big thing going up in Etihad ground. You understand? And the Aruka station is literally 2 street lights away.
Yeah.
You turn up on a station and the main road right there. I don't understand the thinking. Maybe the thinking will come clear at some point in time, you know. But it does not make sense to me. It's almost like if you're finding a way to I don't know, maybe get somebody a walk.
No, but Wendell, I mean, in all honesty, too, I mean, we have seen in the past in some areas, in Laventille and other places, that they have placed police posts to cool down the crime situation in places where people were not able, all up in mangroves and all the places up there, where people wasn't able to come out of the house and all kind of thing, and they put police posts and army posts, and people were glad for it, and they were able to come out and play and talk and lime and until they get these certain situations under control.
You know, you're just contradicting the idea behind where they put in these posts. Didn't we say when the first talk come up that it's best to go in the communities? We said that, and you know, actually saying the same thing.
No, but I'm saying that in light of the fact that was a particular problem that they were dealing with inside of an area.
That problem 10 times worse.
Yeah, but
some of these communities.
What I'm saying is that now you're dealing with community, but you're dealing with country.
Which police post was going and respond to that shooting in Calgary? Yeah. Which police post do you think gonna get there? Which one of the police posts?
In where?
The killing in Calgary. The latest one now, where the two cars meet up in the middle of the road and bullets start to fly and 2 people died in that. 2 people.
Recently here?
Damn, this weekend, Sir Charles.
Oh, okay. No, well, I'm not.
You ain't see that video? That video went viral.
I did not. No, you didn't share that.
Somebody house camera picked it up.
Oh, okay.
Because it literally happened in front of the house.
I did not see that.
You didn't see that?
No, I did not. I did not see it.
I want to know which police post was responding to that.
Well, at the end of the day,
police need to be on patrols.
If the police cannot respond when that, well, then we come in just like in Jamaica where they had Dudoscope, where the police and army couldn't go up in certain places. So that's what you're saying that we have.
But it already saw some in some places.
No,
police. It has some places police and they ain't going, you know.
Well, maybe we have it.
The army might go, but the army can't go by themselves. But it has some places police ain't going.
Yeah, well, now that there are police and army presence, I am sure it's very few places that the police will not be able to go in this country. But hold on 1 minute there. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for taking my call, Mr. Pacho. I
morning.
want to make 2 points. One is with respect to the poll. I voted yes. The reason for that, because I could sit down in my journey and watch on a foreign thing and see the travel and thing for the president of the United States and everything. So I think any prime minister, whoever it is, this prime minister, before traveling and using taxpayers' funds, taxpayers' money, must account for it, and I have no problem in it being, known. And the second thing is respect to the police post, and I put in a little military thing into it too. I heard people saying that there will be a sitting duck something. I am saying that this police post thing will not be the first time. I remember I said this program about 1981, 82, 83, so around there. We had it in Mova, I remember that, with police and ourselves, and we had the same thing, same sandbags and all them things, so that we wouldn't be sitting duck, and nobody could just pass and I can't shoot at us and all them kind of stuff. And we also did patrols, so go into the same communities, what they're speaking about. Right? So maybe I suppose they will, because 30 of them they're rolling out there. It's just about 3. Grand Bazaar thing, the one in the other place, and Eddie had gone. So it have about 27 more to roll out. Let's see. This country recorded 624 murders. And them murders happen, you know what? Because of drugs. This country is a lawless, crime-infested place. And anything, in terms of the benefit of the citizens, this government is putting in place. I am in total support. I'm not going in them petty things. Some person use a spelling or wrong word or something so, and making that a big issue. Right? This particular Minister of Homeland Security is leading the charge as we have never seen before in this country in saying we want to suppress this crime. And whoever have other motive or other thing about it, I totally reject it. Let's give the minister and the government a chance to suppress crime. Crime is out of control. This country has lawless. People will walk up with that AR-15 and shoot anybody, and anybody can get killed in this country. And I support it. This government initiative with crime 100%, and I want them to be successful to stop this madness that is going on for the last 2 years in this country. Thank you very much.
All right. I don't think anybody would be against any effort to curb crime in this place. I don't think so. But as Richard reminds you all, the flip side of that is a police state. That's more dangerous than any criminal you could have, you know. A legal criminal is more dangerous than any of them little nappy-head boys in them areas. Just remember that, eh? Okay.
Yeah.
And as Dean Allen reminded this morning, I tell all you already too, don't pray to have a negative interaction with a police officer, you know. If it never happened to you, hope it never happens to you, you know. And until it happens to you, you will see for yourself.
Yeah, but when you do, you see, and that is the big picture. If we are heading in that direction, but there's no clear indication that we are heading in that direction.
Which direction? A police state direction? There's no clear indication we are heading there.
No, I don't feel that we heading in the thing of being a police state. I mean, everybody have their opinion, you know. But at this stage,
I'm not telling you. I just trying to understand how you can't see that.
Yeah, because
and people who know the history of the current minister when he was a police officer explain to you that he used to be espousing these things. So whilst we want to support him, we're hoping that the crime come down. When you go in the opposite direction of a police state, Sir Charles, there is no coming back from that.
And
who fixing that? Who going and fix the officers now? Who going and fix that rogue that we don't have enough of them already without these things? Who going and fix that?
Yeah.
You know, a police officer, constable, now pass out, could go and lock up anybody, any minister, any businessman, the prime minister, the president. You know that policeman have that power. Are you aware of that?
Yeah, providing that you reach that state, but I don't feel that going in that direction.
I'm just telling you what the reality is. The reality is any police officer that pass out from that barracks, Sir Charles, has that power. Immediately, he has that power. He or she has that power. Immediately.
Right now.
Right now.
Right. So you don't need a police state for the police to act in certain ways.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Lord. Yeah. All right. Take a call.
You know, say many man have that power.
Yes, every police officer has that power, Sir Charles. And I'm saying you go down the road of a police state, you keep giving them more and more and more and more ability to interact with people and be rogue with people. What do you think is going to happen, Sir Charles? Sir Charles, you have had a negative experience with police officers. I'm surprised you're not seeing how dangerous this could be.
Caller, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Wendell. Sir Charles.
Morning.
Well, yes, Sir Charles. I don't know if you all due respect to you, I don't know if you see the characteristics of a police state, and I think just on the surface of our characters, when we look at what the characteristics of a police state is, we basically in a state of emergency where the police can do a very clear mandate. That's basically we in a police state, right? You live in as a state of emergency. Now, what you feel is that it ain't gonna reach your doorsteps and stuff, but I always remember when Schumer and they used to talk about that. They say long time they facing that, breaking down doors, holding people, taking people, carrying them on the other side of the border. for the fellas to run back home just for kicks and all that kind of stuff. No, and I was when Schumer was on the radio on the last thing. We heard Marcia Hensel talking about these, police officers tweeting, so they know, they live with it. Now we don't experience it, but the thing about the thing is what I want to talk about is that right on St. John's Road we had a community center. It was dismantled and army came into it, right? The army was there for a long time, quite a long time. But during that whole situation, it was supposed to be tip of the spear and all that talk about interacting and going into. That's when they slaughtered that little massacre they had up in the zone and stuff. It really did absolute anything. So what I come into this is that I hear all that, strategic, and maybe there's a management concern, the leadership and the police commissioner. There's an alignment to move. But I think at the same time we saw the simple thing about the police. Over the years we have heard you could go and report to the police station any crime anywhere. And that never really went down and gelled well when you really went in to do a report. If you had to pull a report, they're telling you now, we can't take it. So it was a clear, and I think that's what Wendell was talking about. It was a clear vacuum, because commissioners will come on the radio and say, you could go and make a report anywhere, but that didn't work. No, that will come into the production and the productivity, your training, your retraining, and everything. We just went and they started hiring a whole bunch of things, going into the same old school training. No, I don't know if they're rethinking the training, or rethinking. I'm not seeing any of those things that you will get a better officer at the end of the day that we will experience. We're using same old. Well, Gary said it's a old school method. The Canadians came and said it was a production situation. Productivity. You have to get you out of it. You have to get 80% out onto the road. That was his mandate. That was the laybys. Remember the laybys on the church? Go and look at the laybys now, where you rest the cars, police posts. You can still see the signs there. All barriers, fall down, grass growing all over it, all kind of thing. Then Gary came and talked about the intercept and chase, the chase and intercept, where you geographically put people in strategic spots. So when you're chasing, you could just be intercept and all that kind of stuff. So we know the methodology. Okay, I don't know, like the post, cool, everybody cool with the thing. Some people say, well, this is for that, it's for this. But it comes down to a productivity situation. A post is just a post with people sitting in it. But you have to have productivity. And then you have to have, dismantling the thing. Where the weak point is? Where's this thing? Turning evidence, intelligence into evidence into hard cases. Cases go to court. It's held up properly because it did investigation. That is training again. And I'm not seeing any of those things happening. Or if it's happening, they're not speaking about it. And I think this whole thing about you don't know where we're going kind of conversation, which is utilized to water down the conversation, is that to fix anything, we have to upgrade the officers. Granted that at the same time, we've seen police being held by the Intelligence Bureau, but we still seeing the same old at the same time. But we're expecting it to be a better situation. But I will still say there's an alignment between minister, commissioner, and the PM thing. So there's this alignment, so that forcing people to do certain things that they have to do, yet you still can't get body cams on, because people fighting against it. It's good for them, but it's not good for the things. So I've seen something, but my thing is, at the end of the day, I'm not seeing productivity. in the sense that you're changing the mindset of the police officer coming in, because we utilize a 6-month training with a tool thing, and I don't think in any of that. You're just using brute force, and brute force of a police officer, physical asset. We have a physical asset. It ain't really all that, and take that. And however it respond, but it's brute force kind of situation. So it's a kind of mathematical thing that we have a weak situation, but at least 2% will be productive, and the 98%, whatever happen will happen. But you have a physical flood, so you're flooding the space with that. And I think in that there's certain kind of chaos will happen. Obviously, it might not happen to your children, because that's when everybody go break up, or because you didn't look like that. But if you look like that and you're innocent, you will fall into the grab. But it's not you, but it's not us. So we ain't gonna feel, and then we will go down that thing, because it's not, and I think that is when you're entering police state behavior, because then you have 98 ignorant people percentage is walking around to do the thing, and that is an element.
All right, okay, no problem. Dean,
yeah. You know when the reality will kick in, and I keep telling people, don't pray that I hope it don't happen to you. When it actually happens to someone, high up in society, you understand? One of the ministers or when it actually happens to them, where they have to interact with it, because it happened before, You forget, it happened with government ministers already, It happened with Patrick Manning. It happened with Rupert Griffith, remember? He had an interaction with a police officer down by the waterfront there already. You understand? It will happen, and it will happen to someone who ain't taking it. You understand? And who will put a complete stop to it. It might, God forbid it happen with, well, everybody know who the minister is. So I guess they will know not to play the fool with him. But when Martin Joseph was a minister of national security, he had plenty of police officers who said disrespect him. They didn't know him. You understand? Because Martin was really a quiet, kind of easygoing guy. It's going to happen.
All right. Hold your thoughts right there, Wendell. Caller, good morning.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
So, you're so correct, Mr. Stevens. So, Charles, I just want to contextualize it for you, right? Currently, in the territory controlled by Israel, i.e. West Bank and Gaza and so on, Palestinians cannot move in any part of the Israel or the West Bank and the other territories without ID. If they don't have ID, when asked by a member of the armed forces or the police, they will be in prison one time. Just like what we're not here with PDO. Like, I know PDO. You don't have no ID when they ask you. And listen, this is from children to adults. They take you and put you in jail. They don't give anybody any explanation or whatever. You that's going to it, you're coming from home, and that is what happened to you. And they could stop you at any checkpoint. It's even happening with people in the EMS services, emergency health workers, transporting people in ambulances. When they stop them and they ask them, hey, let me see ID. We don't care about no red crescent or no red cross on the vehicle. Have your ID on you. That is one. The Israeli parliament last year passed a law that said for any crime committed by a Palestinian, they could institute a death penalty against them. And passed that overwhelming majority. And what Mr. Stevens telling you, this, remember what's going on with all these police posts and so on? It's happening under the auspices of a state of emergency. That is why the government is moving so hastily to do these things. Because Parliament is in recess, and even if Parliament was in session, they do not answer questions. The Speaker shuts down questions by the opposition. So that is why civil society, platforms such as these, have to give people the instance to ask these questions because they're not being asked even by the journalists. The Prime Minister communicates with a schedule with a minute few journalists, Urvashi, Tuari, Anna Ramdas, and from time again, the other young guy from CNC3, Akash. Right? These are the people who she communicates with continuously. So, this is the context I want you to put your mind to about what is going on. Rapid response and police moving out is always a better thing. But you have to contextualize it in what is going on. And like Mr. Ragobasi and Mr. Stevens rightly pointed out here, once you give up these rights or certain rights, there's no stopping where they will go to Sir Charles. Right? You walk out the house to put your garbage and they stop. Red man, let me see ID there. You're by your house. They ain't say good morning, nothing. You comfortable with that? You go by your greengrocer to buy papers on a morning, as most people always do. You ain't walking with no ID or whatever. Hey, let me get your ID. Make it make sense, Charles. And it cannot make sense if we say that listen, I always prepare to give up some of my rights to fight crime, but not without explanation or without reason. The thing has to be reasonable and equitable across the board. And this is what we're not seeing and we're not getting explanation on. That is the danger in it.
Yeah.
Thanks very much. Let me see if I can just respond to answer on that, right? You see, we are taking out all the bad examples of what something like this could end up being. So, right, you go Gaza, you talk police state, and all different kinds of things. Okay, fine. So we could end up there. But I have never lived in a police state, so I can't even envision what it's like, really and truly. I'm dealing it here. Now, freedom. When you are dealing with a crime situation that all of us know is totally out of control. We have criminals in this country, as Wendell was pointing out just now, certain areas police can't go. That's what he said. Police and army can't go. Because you know what? Criminals have bigger guns and more ammunition than the police. If the police and the government doesn't find a way to fight that, all they realize that going to get worse too. So the same way you can't put your garbage outside, Anson, because a policeman go pull up and ask you where your ID. It's the same way in El Salvador that people wasn't able to cross the road because of the criminal gangs, where people were being shot, killed, hundreds of thousands of persons a year. So when we looking at the whole thing, don't just look at it at government and police. Look at the other side. If the government and the police doesn't get a hold on this crime situation, look and see where the crime situation could be. Think about the businessman, as it is right now, who have to invest in more money in security because of the crime situation, and crime still happening. Think about the person in our area when gunshots flying had to lie down on the ground because bullet coming through the window. Right? Think about people who have their children who don't want to join gangs, and the gang member saying that here going on, boy, you had to join the gang, or here when you had to move out of this neighborhood, and if you move out of this neighborhood, or you can't afford to move out of the neighborhood, here what? They kill you because you ain't want to join the gang. But we are only looking at it on one half. Yes, so that's how I respond to answer.
So, Sir Charles, but I was expecting you to, because you said Anson went to the worst case scenario, like it was happening in Gaza and so on. So I was expecting you to respond where a police state is working. Where? Give examples of a police state that it is working on behalf of the people.
We are not a police state.
So, Charles, that's where we are heading. That's what we're saying. You know.
That's what
we ain't
most
saying we are. We are saying we are heading there.
People that we are heading in that direction.
Yes, Sir Charles. You can't see that.
By doing, I am not saying that. And call me naive as all.
All right. Well,
I am not.
If you're not seeing that, then this argument is moot. If you're not seeing where we're heading, then there's no point making this having this discussion. No point. Because if you are comfortable with police officers abusing people,
Wendell, what is the alternative of it? Also, you're losing your freedom. You can't go nowhere. You can't pack your car. You can't sit down in a yard and relax because of the crime situation. And if the government is trying something to try and roll back that, it doesn't mean that we will end up in a police station. People are saying that, but it doesn't mean that we will end up there. Suppose they get it under control.
So, Charles, wouldn't you have preferred that the government deploy police officers on the beat in areas, either on foot, in cars, with the army, whatever? All of them outfitted with dash cams and dash cams, body cams. Wouldn't you have preferred that? Wouldn't you have preferred to see that kind of response from the TTPS?
Wendell, at the end of it all,
that's a yes or no?
No, don't tell me an answer no, yes or no, because you want me to answer yes or no. It's
a simple question. It's a simple question. It don't have no explanation in it. Wouldn't you have preferred to see that? Yes or no?
Well, then if you want me to answer yes or no, I'm not answering it. Forget it.
All right.
Okay. Well, good morning.
Gentlemen, good morning. Gentle people, good morning.
Morning.
I hope you all had a good weekend. Listen, it's beyond me, right? People have to realize this woman is doing exactly what she said. She said, party first, before country. And that's exactly what she's doing. She's not answering no questions. She doesn't care. She told us up front, so we should be surprised. The big surprise to me is that Trinidad and Tobago, thanks to Ms. Kamala Prasad and the UNC, we are back in Israel, a murderous state. And that the president Netanyahu is a war criminal. He's wanted in many countries. And she has chosen to back him because President Trump, who is also becoming a war criminal, backing him. You understand? So Trinidad, it is just, I have lost all faith in UNC from the time I hear they start back. They're gone to the worst. Back in Israel, what they're doing, as the last caller said, all these things they put up with checkpoints. That's in another person's country. They went and invade the other person's country and tell the citizens, you have to walk with the ID, otherwise we're locking you up. This is the same country who complain about what the Holocaust and what Hitler did to them. And now they're doing it to everybody else. And we are backing them. Trinidad and Tobago is backing them. And don't take my word for it. Go check in the United Nations Charter and you see we're voting with them. We're voting for them. So because what? Because I tell you, it's Donald Trump running Trinidad and Tobago. Simple as that. Not no UNC, Donald Trump. All right, guys. Have a good one.
All right. Take care. Thanks, Captain Ron.
281-131-529-9516. You can take your calls. Caller, good morning. Hello, good morning. Lincoln, yeah. Lincoln, we're hearing you. Yeah, we're hearing you. Go ahead.
So Charles, I just want to put something out for you. How much Joshua Shamroos had to happen before you acknowledge, okay, we not going down a good road, or is we in a police state? We can't be good. Police can't be allowed to do this. How much guns? How much police going to be now pass out and involved in fraud and corruption and thing has to happen? Acknowledge, okay, we need to reel in this a little bit, right? How much people are going to have to be arrested for telling you your God is this and whatever, for simple crimes like this? How much people are going to have to be arrested and detained for a month? Not the criminals, The law-abiding ones who are detained for a month and the court had to tell you you don't have no evidence to charge the person, let them go. How much has to happen for you to acknowledge, okay, the police doing nonsense? And while you're thinking about that, I want to ask you this question. Which television program you ever watch in the history from Hill Street Blues come right back down right to today's cop show? Which cop show you ever watch that see police responding to a crime or the report of a crime from a police station? I don't agree with Gary Griffiths very often. There are some things now I'm hearing him being kind of on the fence and partisan about. But one thing I totally agree with Gary Griffith about that he said, police don't respond from station. Police needs to be on the street in a vehicle, cruising. When a call comes in, they respond from in the vehicle where they is cruising. That money that they're spending on bases, I would have feel more comfortable if they had invested those money in vehicles, not e-vehicles, because they would have said the vehicle in charge, that's why they could not go with it, and it wasn't fully charged. Vehicle that they could put gas in and run, and so that when somebody calls, police are already in a vehicle ready to respond. And more so, vehicles at strategic places, not building base. The money you're spending on building base could buy 3 vehicles and it could sustain 3 bases, 3 spots to cordon off and lock down the country for when people thief a car, when people shoot at somebody, when people do something, they are more able to respond. Not just vehicles, as Wendell rightly just said, communication. One of the key problems in Trinidad and Tobago is communication in the protective services. Because something happened up the road and down the road don't know. Right? Body cameras to validate. When you say the man shoot at me, you could have evidence to say the man really pull a gun and pointed it in my direction and I return. You know the code that does give you, Wendell. Wendell, you from
Yeah.
Right? They raised something appeared to look like a firearm and then pointed it in my direction, and I had to, in the use of policy force, we had to give fire to protect lives and You know the phrase. And they regurgitate every time.
In keeping with the use of force policy, we engaged them, and 2 men were shot. They were conveyed to hospital, and they subsequently died. That's it. I could write that script every day.
You could write that script, right? So, Charles, I want you to think about it, and you don't have to answer now. Ask me when is it going to be enough? Because you also saying we heading there, you know. I am saying we're there already. Already just in the sand, but we are there already. With the Minister of National Homeland Security, we have the Commissioner that we have that right up. Anyway, that supports everything Kamala Prasad does. And the Attorney General that we have, we are not galloping there. We are there already. So swiveling, spiraling in the whirlwind of tyranny. We just ain't seeing it yet, but it's there. Trust me.
Okay, thanks very much, Lincoln. And, it's not a matter of people having their heads in the sand. People just have a difference of opinion to what you've seen, and that is okay. People can have difference of opinions. Not all of us going to see it the same way, But as I said, only
some people want having a wait and see attitude, like Ian yourself. You're having a wait and see attitude. No problem with that, But the signs are there. Lincoln just point out everything there in a nutshell. The signs are there, Sir Charles, and they're not good signs. And as a matter of fact, Lincoln talk about the police shows. Those police shows always start with the chief of police having everybody in a room talking and out on the beat, guys. Because that's where they have to respond to crime from. We know that long time, We knew that long time, which is why certain commissioners outside of Gary Griffith, all of them commissioners who come up to the ranks, they couldn't control the batch. That was the problem. Gary Griffith was the only person who didn't come out of that environment. And Dwayne Gibbs, of course, didn't come out of this batch environment that we have here. That is where our problem is, Sir Charles. I keep saying it. The police can't fix themselves, then they can't fix this place. I don't care how much police posts they put up. If they can't fix within, they can't fix without.
All right, people, we have a few minutes. We're taking your calls to 811-315-299-5156. We're in the final few minutes, you know, at the end of it all. You know, and I recognize that there are faults and there are flaws, and we have to fix those things. But at the same time, too, we still have to recognize that we're dealing with a criminal element that is not stupid, that has been doing things. And
well, if you want to give up your rights to deal with that, fine. I am not. Well, for those people who are willing to give up their rights for that to be fixed, I am not. Go and find the criminals. Them already. Them stressing me out. Not the general public.
Yeah. Well,
why should I take the stress from a police officer and I'm already stressed by the criminal, and I had to be stressed by a police officer to know?
Well, maybe maybe some of the things that are being put in place will help to relieve some of those stresses.
Yeah. Okay. All right, brother.
Mr. Patrick.
Yes, sir. I wonder when we'll get in your program, but no problem with that. When there and Mr. Richard was saying morning,
Trinidad. Morning, Mr. Patrick.
I sing down here for the longest while and I listen to everybody's opinion. And a lot of people have valid opinions. I think sometime back I talk about a creeping dictatorship. A creeping dictatorship in the modern term is a police state. You remember when New York had crime? When they create a police state. And up to now they had the effects of a police state. Police has brutalized people in the states and do all manner of evil in the states among the citizens, and the state has to pay a lot of money. You understand? So when we're talking about things, if you remove somebody's rights under SOE, automatically you make the place a police state when the police have all the rights. So that's what we call a police state. Now, people talking about these police posts. I sit down and I check in my mind how much to build a police post, how much money, how much to build it and protect it, because you have to put a wall around that or some fencing around that. And how much that will cost you if you multiply that by 30? Would it be more wise to buy police vehicles and police vehicles at points all around the nation, so when you call, police can respond in a timely manner? I don't know. I asked the question.
Does an SAE make Trinidad?
Yeah. Somebody with Lincoln raised that just now too.
Because
investing where the body cameras that we supposed to be getting. The police supposed to be getting.
You having something that will be one place, stand still. We want police mobile, visible. The same thing you was PNM talking about, visible policing. Whenever you go to New York, you see police all over the place, visible, you know. On foot, in car, on a bicycle, I think now. So we want to see police visible. Calvary is a hotspot, have visible police. Bamboo in Tunapuna is a hotspot, have visible police. Not that any job with people running and buying food to eat. People running and buying food to eat, nobody commit no crime there. You know? Go in the crime areas, have visible police, deploy them every evening, every morning, have people around the clock there, and then we deal with that. But if you want to bring something mobile, so when this government come out of power one day, and my partner, and the police and them say we are going back there because the government says, it's a waste of money.
Yeah. Yeah, because a different government might come with a different strategy.
Government come and they want to use that form of policing anymore strategy. If a Gary come back, Gary will bring cars and vans. You know? So we are thinking clear. What is our police state? You see this ID? Failing to show our ID? You know, it are certain countries like, I think Venezuela, right? You have to always have ID because they could hold you until 72 hours before you produce ID, because you fail to ID. Like that charge in certain countries, in certain communist countries, failing to produce ID. You understand? So let me know what's going on in Trinidad and Tobago now. We running under something called what? A democracy. Not a dictator, not a police state, a democracy. That's all I have to say.
No, yeah, thanks, Mr. Patrick. I know of no, how I should put it, certain countries, developed countries and so on, that went this way. I know of none. The countries that went this way have turmoil still. All kind of level of turmoil. Because what you do, you make you turn your back on the criminals, and you come face to face with the police. You're stuck in the middle there. What you gonna do? Which one you running to? One train to kill, the next one just killing for training.
Hey, look. People,
time to go.
That's what we're going to leave it for today. Thank you very much for your discussions. Thank you very much for being part of the breakfast show. And we look forward to joining you, God's willing, tomorrow again from 6 a.m. Don't
So
forget.
Charles, quickly, did you play the video that I sent? Because I wasn't on the first part of the show. The video I sent with the Prime Minister.
You sure?
When she was talking about getting the proper approvals and so on.
Yeah, you must save it for tomorrow for you?
You didn't play?
No, I didn't play it. I'll save it for tomorrow for you.
Yeah, play it tomorrow morning, please.
Yeah, you know, when you come in, just remind me, right? We can have it there. But see that we don't have time to really discuss it. We'll pick it up tomorrow. All right?
Yeah, no problem.
Right. So people, make sure to go and get your tickets. Wait, hold on. Well, go and get your tickets for the cruise. Remember, you can get them at Rumbox. You can get them at Crosby's in St. James and also at Bobby's Bar in Curb. Those are the three places alone where you can get tickets for the cruise right now. And of course, you can call us here at NETT, check all the DJs and presenters, and we'll be able to get your tickets to you, right? But it's coming up on Saturday on board the Island Royalty. We're boarding at 7. We're sailing at 8 o'clock. And we are doing that at Hartscott, which is down by the Cove. Most of you will remember the Cove in Chagaramas. Right.
Yeah. All right, folks, have a wonderful day. Remember to let go and let God.
All right, so stay with us here on NETT Radio. Of course, our programming continues. Inside the mid-morning this week is RJ, holding it down between 9 and 12, and of course, and beyond. So, looking forward to be there. Company member, come across the netradiott.com. That's netradiott.com. So you can listen to the shows when we come off of the social media feed and, of course, Gael feed. Right? So until tomorrow, people, this has been
The Breakfast Show.
Get up. It's the time to start the day. The Breakfast Show is here. We bring in the soca way. Yeah. Wake up, it's a brand new dawn. The Breakfast Show got the vibes